damn. And I'd have forgot to put on, you know what, it don't matter because Black Ron, he's still in IG jail, ain't he?
Yep.
So we can't even do it. It don't matter though, because we gonna go ahead and go live and direct. Y'all already know. Sports show, comedy show, all that in the bug. We here live and direct. Let's talk about it. And if I ain't mistaken, damn, is these OKC Thunders really trying to run away with this whole champ like this? Because it look like they ain't playing no more. I mean, SGA in tandem with your boy Jalen is legit out there ready to take the Pacers' head off. Only one more game to go. But that ain't the only thing on the docket. Shout out to Uptown Comedy Corner. Angelo is going to join us to talk a little bit about why the Steelers and how the Steelers going to do what they can with the one and only Aaron coming all the way from the Jets after moving from Green Bay. I don't know. For me, it feels like a death knell, but we'll see. Yes. We are joined by none other than the only Black Ron, of course, in the head house. We got stand-up sports bars, one and only Solo Jones. We got Bo Pete Barnes in the head house. We got the homie, the real best Taylor live and direct. And yes, joining us for the first time, hopefully not the last, Mr. Angelo from Uptown Comedy Corner. But let's go ahead and get into some of these sports, y'all. What it is, what it do, stand-up sports bar. Let's talk sports, bitch. All right, so as we said before, well, we do want to go ahead and give a proper introduction. We got Angelo from Uptown Comedy Corner coming up in here in just 1 second, so everybody don't go nowhere, because this thing is live and direct. We're going to go ahead and get it cranking, but while we do have you here, we did have the game last night, and yes, victorious were the Midwest OKC Thunder, who I think a lot of folks on this panel picked to win in 7, but we will digress for now. Another thing is happening in the world of sports, and we ain't gonna talk about how Shohei Ohtani pitched last night, 1 inning, and still led off, which is crazy. What we is gonna get into is how Aaron Rodgers is gonna this roster for the Steelers now that he is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler player. And so I really wanted to ask the panel, what y'all think this mean for these Steelers? Does this mean Mike Tomlin finally will be able to breathe without having to worry about his job for a season? Hallelujah. Will they actually go over 500 for the entire season and make it to the playoffs? Hallelujah. Who knows? We don't know, but let's go to the show, find out what everybody's thinking. I am your boy, the real Miss Taylor. We are joined by Uptown's only Angelo, who I think has an opinion about Aaron Rodgers. Do you not, sir? Do you not have an opinion? What say you, my friend, about this trade with Rodgers going to the Steelers?
I mean, we've been struggling without a quarterback for a better part of 5 years.
That nigga said
we Aaron Rodgers is. I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I'll start off by saying that. However, for my team, he's an upgrade of what we've had for the last 5 years.
What?
He's an upgrade of what we've had the last 5 years. Now, my preference, if I was in that position, my preference would have been to have kept Justin Fields.
Yeah, I would have kept Justin.
But I'm not at practice every day. There's obviously something that they didn't see, that they saw, that they didn't think they could work through to give him a long-term contract. They did offer him a contract. They offered him a $20 million contract. Well, the Jets offered him $30 million. So he's going to take the $30 million. So I got to respect that. You know what I mean? But it's still only
$30.
It's still only a 3-year contract.
I wouldn't give him $30. I wouldn't give him $30. I hate to interrupt you, right, sir, but I'm over here. I'm over here biting my nails right now.
Well, go ahead.
You a dedicated Steelers. You is a super Steelers fan. I see you wear the whole outfit that the Steelers put out. And I know damn well this ugly white boy is not going to do a damn thing for y'all. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
You don't think so?
Hell no. Hell no. I'm gonna tell you why, and I want Angelo to answer 2 questions. The first question I'm gonna ask right now. The second question I'm gonna ask later. Yeah, let me ask you a question. How many games in before the playoff? How many games you get to play before the playoff?
How many games? What?
How many games regular season do you
17.
think?
17.
Yeah. Okay. Out of those 17 games, how many of you think they're gonna win with this white boy? Come on.
11.
Oh God, I'm running down the street. Oh my!
And listen, look at hey Solo. Look at my face. Look at my face when I say that. Look at me when I say that. I want you to see the confidence in my face. We're gonna win 11 games, bro.
How? Did you get a blood infusion from the Dallas Cowboys? There's no goddamn way that boy gonna quit on you on the 5th game. I promise you that. I'll take your ass out to eat. If they win more than 8 games. 8 games, Angelo. 8 games. Angelo, I do free shows for you. 8 games. If them boys win more than 8 games.
It is recorded. It's recorded, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I got him on record, man. And so I got the free shows lined up for you, bro. I don't
think they're going to win 8 games. I don't even think they're going to win 8 games. I think Rodgers going to get hurt or something. He going to claim something else and run up out of there. I don't think he can even play football no more. I've seen this. I was for him when he was with the Jets. I was for him when he was with Green Bay.
Why?
I thought he had.
Why were you for him with the Jets? Why were you for him with the Jets?
He stunk up the place.
No. Why were you for him when he's with the Jets?
Because I was a Rodgers fan until I found out Rodgers is full of shit. That's the truth.
He can't. I ain't been fucking with Aaron Rodgers since. I ain't been fucking with Aaron Rodgers since the discount double check. I ain't been fucking with Aaron Rodgers since AJ Hawk was their leading linebacker.
Damn.
But to say that he will be the best thing to happen to the Pittsburgh Steelers since he was doing State Farm commercials is the craziest shit I thought I would hear. This nigga just said, without saying, that Aaron Rodgers, 5 years post his prime, will be the best addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers roster at quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger retired. That's what that man just said.
Please, Ron. Please, man.
I don't know if y'all do. I don't know if y'all do math like how I do math, goddamn it. But he said 5 years.
What?
And 5 years ago, Big Raper Man Ben was their goddamn quarterback.
Yeah. To hit a nigga quick, Ben. I can't ride my motorcycle, Ben.
Hold on.
For the record, he was one of the best.
He was never charged with anything. So y'all keep talking about my quarterback. He was never charged with anything.
Kind of fan.
Just for the record.
We doing that.
Let me tell you something. See, I'm a Cowboy super fan, but I know Michael was doing that cocaine. I know Mike was doing that cocaine. You can't tell me Irvin wasn't hitting that top. I know it to be true. I know he is the greatest. I also know he did great top. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Emmitt Smith is the greatest running back on record. I also know had it not been for Barry retiring, Emmitt wouldn't hold that record. See, I'm an honest person. You know what I'm saying? There's just certain irrefutable facts. And the fact of the matter is that big old white man is reported to allegedly like to take coochie. Not once, but twice. They came out and they said so. I know they don't lie on you twice. I know people lie on you, but they don't lie on you twice. I know that.
So let me ask you, entertainers, something. You guys are entertainers.
That's good.
When a female goes into a male bathroom in a club, what is she? Is she coming in there just to have a conversation with you in the male bathroom?
You know,
first of all,
not in my case. Are we in Atlanta when this is happening? Because
not in my case.
I'm just saying. I'm just curious as an entertainer. You know, I'm not an entertainer. You know what I mean? But if a female goes into a male bathroom and meets you in the stall at a club, what is she there for?
My take on this one isn't going to be a popular one. All right.
Yeah, my take on this ain't gonna be popular at all. It's really gonna. It might surprise y'all what my take on this is.
Okay, my take is going to be a very, very calculated approach. My take is in the Diddy era, in the era that we living in now, you gotta expect that the reason she in there is to get paid based off of what is going to happen, depending on how you move about in that moment. Like that to me feels like a setup. So I wouldn't even want to be in that situation. And if I'm Ben Roethlisberger, especially Big Ben, head of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who can get any coaching out there willingly, like literally, why do I need to be in the bathroom with it? I need to exit stage right immediately. Not to be in that situation at all, because I know what it could mean. And I'm a whole married man. Am I right?
He wasn't married at the time. He wasn't married at the time.
He wasn't married. He wasn't married at the time. I'm not gonna accuse him of adultery.
Yeah. Ben was just wilding out just like everybody else. Hold on. What kind of punk answer is that? Any man in the bathroom when a woman come in there, I don't give a damn how much pussy you done got. You gonna get that pussy too.
You out your goddamn mind, Bo.
Okay, so now let me give y'all the answer that's not gonna get us fucking canceled. Let me tell you niggas the truth.
No. Let me say this again.
Go ahead.
There's a difference between how you treat women right now, when your bank account where it's at right now, and when it's at where Ben's was when this happened. And I think that you got to consider things a lot differently when you on Front Street like that. It is 100% true. That's how I feel. Like if you are a target, you got to look at everybody like they targeting you. That's just the way I feel. Like I wouldn't want to step
target. He gets the pussy. What is targeting? He gets the pussy. What the hell you talking
about? Millions. I'm sorry.
Hold on, but like they got people out there that hey, he got millions. Go get it. No, you get the pussy.
Yes.
Get the pussy.
But see, here's the thing that's gonna mess a whole lot of y'all up. See, I'm a fan of fucking history. I remember in the mid-90s, one Michael Gerard Tyson, at the height of his fucking career, had a young lady come to his hotel room at 2:00 in the morning. No, she did not come over there to read Bible and play Uno. But I also learned a valuable lesson that even if she came over there to bring you some coochie, when she through giving you some coochie, you got to be through receiving it. Otherwise, they will lock your motherfucking ass up. They locked that man up for the very same thing we talking about being allegedly did, that hard R, strong felony. So if a man that was testified, they both testified that he ate her coochie for 30 minutes?
Damn, that's a lot.
And then they proceeded to have sex. That was in the transcripts. They both testified to this in the court of law. She came over. It was 2:00 in the morning. She took her clothes off. She got butt fucking naked. She jumped in the bed. I ate that coochie. And then after I ate that coochie, we began to have sex. Now, right in the middle is where they stories are contended. Because niggas think you showed up over here, you got naked, you got in the bed, I ate your coochie, we began having sex. How can you say that I took anything from you? And the law says that a woman can change her mind in the middle of it. So yeah, she might have came off in the bathroom to give you some coochie, or to holler at you, or to set the play up. Like a nigga like me, I don't want no coochie in no public bathroom, because that's just disgusting.
That's disgusting.
It's nasty in there.
It's nasty.
I got the whole car outside. I got the Suburban outside. If you are right now, right here type girl, let's go in the car. If I can't go get no hotel room, if we can't go to your crib, you know what I'm saying? If there's no way we can safely do this, I got the truck outside. I got my bodyguard with me.
Look, we getting a little sidetracked.
What say you, Angelo? When your man's what was your man's at one time though, Angelo?
Hold on. Because she might have went up in there like, hey, what's up, Ben? I like it. Let's do something a little bit later on. And he was like, nah, let's do it right now. Wait a minute, Ben. I mean, it's the bathroom. I don't give a fuck. Turn around, get it to me right now. We don't know how the situation went. You know what I'm saying? Once they both was in that bathroom. But what we do know is Anytime a woman say, okay, I'm done, fellas, and this ain't got nothing to do with the being situation. This is just a message to men moving forward, particularly entertainers. The Me Too movement, we saw entertainer after entertainer get locked up because consent is something that can never be argued in the court of law. You either had it or you didn't. And moving forward, young boys, especially young black men, I want you to hear me.
Come on.
I don't give a damn if you got to get a signed affidavit. I don't give a damn if you got to cut the camera on and she got to do a video holding up her ID with her eyeballs facing the camera so that you can see that she is sober. You got to get consent.
Consent.
For every act. All the way through.
Free.
And if at any time it feel like she don't want to do this, get off that lady.
Get up.
The fact that you have to have this conversation, it sucks. This is dumb as hell.
Yeah. Well, Angelo, it was long.
And no means no in 2025. But Angelo,
no means hell no.
So let me say,
and the fact that you even talk, you gotta have like, are we really going the written consent?
I don't think Ben raped that girl at all. I don't think he raped her. That's my personal opinion.
Hey man, we all men of a certain age. We all men of a certain age. We all come from the one thing led to another. You know, I ain't want to fuck up the vibe. What type of lame ass nigga be like, is it okay if I put this condom on and get some coochie? You supposed to feel about like, nah, that shit dead these days.
The point that Black Ron was making originally was that this happened to Mike Tyson, but you know who ain't happened to? It ain't happened to AC Green. It ain't happened to David Robinson. It ain't happened to these clean ass Christian ass niggas that would never go into a bathroom or be caught alone with a woman ever in history, in period, because these niggas is not out there for it. There are certain niggas that are open, and there are certain niggas who like closed to that type of lifestyle. Angelo, what is it that you were saying, homeboy?
So here's what I want to point out real quick. You know, that was a great soliloquy. And what Ron was saying is true. You know what I mean? But what I think people forget.
My nigga said soliloquy. I'm so proud.
We ain't
yeah.
You know it's a bunch of hood niggas in here. You can't tell you ain't here. I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me tell you something right now. Don't say your ass in here. Using these big ass damn words.
Hey, Angelo, fuck them. I know what soliloquy means.
Don't play that.
You took that out of Stephen A. Smith's book.
Yeah, what kind of bullshit?
Okay, wait. So let me define it for the niggas in the room. A soliloquy is normally during a theatrical performance when a character breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience as opposed to his co-stars in the production. That's a soliloquy. It's a small, short monologue where you opine on a subject deeply and heartfeltly to the audience at large.
Hey, shout out to Angelo. All right. Hey, last week it was diatribe, I think, and this week is soliloquy. We gonna start doing like daily words. Like, we gonna have to start like
continue, my brother. But
black men, no big words. Black men, no big words.
Come on,
hey, on my page, I do a word of the day on my social media anyway. That's something I've been doing with my son since he was a youngster. You know what I mean? And it's worked for him because, you know, he's been accepted. You know, his academics is ridiculous. Number 3 in his old class. But I just want to say that I was just saying this because as we sit here, we're looking at, you know, I think 5 fully grown adults, probably all got kids. Some may have grand, I don't know. But it's easier to make these statements as grown men. But I think sometimes we forget about how we were in our early teens, early 20s, right? Mm-hmm. And to say what we would and wouldn't do now is a lot different than what we would or wouldn't do at 20, 21 years old. Okay. And then you put on top of that, can you imagine your current self, or can you imagine how you would be at 21, 22 years old, 23 years old, and be a multi-millionaire? You know, and I'm not just saying it's about I'm saying it's about how a lot of times we start judging these guys and saying this and that, but we do that as 30, 40, 50-year-old men, but we don't. You can't relate to a 20-year-old, 21, 22, 23-year-old who wakes up one day, he got $30 million in the bank. So I can't sit there and tell you what I would do at 21 years old with $30 million because it probably wouldn't be very sane.
I'd have been in jail. I'd have
been locked up with Ron. If he had the 30 million, I'd be with Ron every day.
What?
Bo P, Bo P, I hope you okay. I hope everything's okay with Bo P, y'all. Is Bo P okay?
He turned, and you know, that's actually how Bo P walk around.
Oh, he got a case of old nigga.
Old nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Come help daddy fix the computer.
Yeah, nigga.
I'm gonna put y'all for that for right now, Bo PT, pull it back. But the only thing that I think for me is hard because I came up under my mom, Albany, Georgia, Albany State. Don't trust them white, like they out to get you, like type thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like in my head, it was always like there's going to be points in which you tested. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm always expecting it. So even when the millions come, I'm like, okay, now they really coming out the woodwork, especially now that I've established it. So I just have a different mindset. And I think that there's other niggas like me in the NFL and that did make it in sports. And I think that there's other dudes like you speak of that were just cloaked in their youth, right? And were unable to really match the level of their rise to fame with their maturity. And they were not able to think in that moment. Is where I stand now. Maybe I'm an outlier on this panel.
Here's my point to that, and it goes back to what Angelo said. A lot of us in our youth, most of us in our youth are not the same men that we are once we mature. That's what maturity is largely for. The problem that I have is the media, the world, they will make pariahs out of those athletes, most of which are black, that live their lives out loud. Those that hit the club and sleep with tons of women and have several baby mamas and get involved in bar fights and stuff. You know, the Dennis Rodmans all the way down to the Anthony Edwards and Zion Williamsons. You know what I'm saying? The Magic Johnsons, here and there and all the way in between. But then they have these clean-cut image guys that they try to present that have been secretly behind the scenes living a much more deplorable life than the men that they brought out and publicly castrated. And by the time they sins come out, they've already lived their glory and had all they shining moments, when a lot of cats miss opportunities or get denied opportunities because they shit was brought out and put on display in their prime. I don't like that. Because what happens is you end up tarnishing your legacy forever. I could much more prefer that your bullshit get brought out in your youth and you're able to atone for it. For example, we all know Mike Vick. We all know the Mike Vick story. Once Mike Vick got out of prison, it was real hard for Mike to get another opportunity in the NFL. He found one with the Philadelphia Eagles. But even after playing all that time, Michael Vick would still get harassed for what he had already served his time and paid back society before. He booked a comedy festival one time in Shreveport. I was on the show. We get there. There's 1,000 people across the street protesting him. This 10 years after the man that got out of prison. So now just imagine if we found out tomorrow that Tom Brady was running an illegal cockfighting ring this whole time.
You mean digger rings or chicken?
You stupid.
Yo, real quick. I hate the. Oh, go ahead, Angelo.
I can just say this about in comparison, right? Because what you're saying is correct, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that Ben is white. So we can't gloss over that. You know what I mean? Whether he was guilty or innocent, which none of us in the bathrooms, we don't know. But trust and believe the race played a big part of it. And he came forth with whatever it was to his people. The mistake Michael Vick made was Michael Vick had every opportunity to come clean and stood 10 toes on the lie. Yeah. And that's what buried him. Because they were going to help him out the same way Ben got the right PR people. They set it up, and guess what? The only people who still talk about that Ben story is people like you guys, people like guys over the Kimber Steelers. That's the first you always hear. But
people that
NFL,
remember it in real
you ain't heard a word about it. That jump went dead, bro. You know what I mean? Because that's PR, and that's something they're gonna protect that image as much as they can. That's how it works. Just like right now. When's the last time anybody talked about Justin Tucker?
Oh,
Never.
shit.
Hey.
When's the last time you talked about it?
We led with Justin Tuck for a minute, man.
Yeah.
Justin Tuck. My name is Justin Tuck, and I'm here to fuck.
Yeah. But does ESPN talk about it? But yeah, they talked about Deshaun Watson every single day.
Yeah, they did.
Whenever we spoke about it, and my homeboy Ty, he's normally here. He's normally the one to really hang up on that. It's always with respect to the comparison of how Deshaun Watson was treated versus how Tucker was treated. And the whole notion that it was a hard decision to release Tucker in the first place was also speaking in volumes. But I don't want to stop there.
What about Robert Kraft? What about Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots?
Robert Kraft. Yeah.
That's been squashed under the table.
Say, man, that shit got suppressed so hard that when the Lord called Robert Kraft home, they gonna send that man away like all the other long-standing NFL owners that had infallible social records.
Absolutely.
But
Robert Kraft gave us a understanding of that there is a difference between a billionaire and a millionaire.
Come on, somebody.
There's a difference. You know what I mean?
That boy went to the Jerry Jones school of getting that money.
The billionaire cuts checks for millionaires. So he showed the difference.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
back to the quarterback.
Go ahead, Bo. I'm sorry.
Back to the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. I agree with Angelo, man. He's the best thing they had in the last 5 years. He may not be the old Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know anybody out there can throw the ball like that, man. He can throw the ball.
But he's a light-skinned nigga named Justin Fields.
Yeah. No.
Look, let me say something to you, brother. Let me say something to you, brother.
Russell Wilson ain't the same Russell Wilson.
Let me tell you something, brother. The NFL, hold on. NFL is there to win. If Justin Fields they thought could be the player they need to win, they'd have kept it. NFL ain't there to swap around players because they white or black or anything like that.
No,
they want to win. And Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields. I want the best for Justin Fields. I think he's been messed over. He's been moved around so much. Now hopefully he gets somewhere he can settle down, become a good quarterback. But he do not have the talented arm that Aaron Rodgers got. Matter of fact, 95% of the quarterbacks in the NFL don't have the accuracy that Aaron Rodgers has.
We're talking about the Aaron Rodgers of old, and I don't like when people compare.
Aaron Rodgers wasn't bad last year. He wasn't bad last year.
No, hell no. Hold on. Wait a minute, Solo. He just spoke about one thing that we can talk about, which is a tangible accuracy. You said that nobody has the accuracy on Aaron Rodgers' arm on that other bench. Goddamn, hold on.
So, all right, they calling in to let Ron know his prescription is ready. So he got to answer that call real quick. We'll go ahead.
But I'll say this. Let me say this. First of all, I'm not a Rodgers hater. Okay, I am a fan of Rodgers. That's the reason I saw his decline. You wasn't seeing the decline. You weren't watching every game to see the decline of a great football player. He was going through his decline 3 years ago. Y'all remember?
Okay. All right.
Let me make my point first. Hold on 1 second. May I grace for making my point? Because I get 30 seconds. Any nigga get 30 minutes. But anyway, yeah, that's a fact. Anyway, what I'm asking you fellas is this, and especially the Bo Peep, is no way in hell with the Jets, with the type of team the Jets had, he should have did way better. Instead of him looking at, they was pointing out all the facts. Y'all remember when on ESPN when they was pointing at the fact that where's Roger throwing? It wasn't even nobody there. And he was just throwing the ball over there. So all that other stuff is the yeah. I'm gonna go look it up myself.
I'm not a Jets fan, but I don't think
first of all, I'm a Cowboy fan. I don't give a damn Steelers don't win not one game. But I still know that Aaron Rodgers is a good football player. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback, man.
I'm not saying he's not a good football player. I'm just saying he's not good enough right now to even be.
Let me just jump in real quick. First of all, Justin Fields is a talented athlete. He's not a great quarterback
at all.
Now, the problem with that is simply he was thrown to the wolves in Chicago. The coach didn't believe in him in the first place, and furthermore, you guys name me an Ohio State quarterback that's ever had any successful career in the NFL. I'll wait. You're not gonna be able to find one. The second thing, if you look at the Steelers' numbers from touchdown passes alone, prior to last year, we had 3 quarterbacks combined who didn't throw for more than 15 touchdowns for the entire season. Aaron Rodgers threw 28 touchdowns last year alone on a team that didn't do well. All right. Now, what we know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, he's going to throw the ball. We haven't had a quarterback to throw the ball with any sense of accuracy in the last 5 years. Russell Wilson did okay at times, but if you notice, the only time he really had any run is when we had a deep ball. He was not able to stay on time. He couldn't throw no slants. He wasn't throwing no deep outs. It was only success we had was a deep ball. Well, you can't live off the deep ball alone in the NFL. You got to be able to throw slants. You got to be able to throw digs. You got to be able to move the ball.
Needs an offensive line more than they need a quarterback.
No, we've built the offensive line. We've had three first round draft picks on the offensive line over the last 3 years. We got two dynamic tight ends. What we haven't had is a quarterback that can throw on time. We have not had a quarterback that can throw on time. Mason Rudolph 2 years ago came off the bench and threw more touchdowns in the last 4 weeks of the season than we had half the entire season.
You telling me Mason Rudolph can't throw on
You give me Aaron Rodgers over Mason Rudolph, I'll take that all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Aaron Rodgers is going to be – we don't need – what we need at that quarterback position is somebody that can move the ball on time. We need somebody that can throw slants, somebody can throw curls, somebody can get the ball to some of these receivers we have. We got 2 tight ends that are dynamic. All we got to do is make sure that we can keep the run game going. I'm going to miss Najee Harris, but I understand why they let him go. I understand why, but I hate it, but I understand why. You know what I mean? But with Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be able to open that offense up where it hasn't been open. And because we've been successful midway, we don't get the top draft picks. You know what I mean? We don't get the top 10 picks. We've been in the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. We still winning 9-10 games, so we don't get the opportunity to get the.
Okay, so let me say this. Let me say this. Again, y'all are talking about Aaron Rodgers either in his prime or in top tier physical condition. We already know that man is 5 years removed from the Aaron Rodgers he was in Green Bay. We already know he's the Aaron Rodgers with the shoulder tear. We already know he's the Aaron Rodgers with the torn ACL, both of which put him out for seasons. And we know that he old as hell. So I think that Pittsburgh bought a used Lamborghini with a bad motor. It looked real good. It sounds real good, but it's not going to be able to take you very far. I also believe that this is a setup for Mike Tomlin.
That's why I brought him on the show. Because I told you, go ahead, Ron.
They've been trying for the last 7-8 years to get Mike Tomlin the fuck up out of there. But they can't justify it because he has never had a losing season.
Ever.
He's the only NFL coach that can say that.
But he ain't been making the playoffs, bro. I mean,
hold on.
Wait a minute. Hold
on. He has made it to the playoffs. They haven't had any playoff success.
Yes.
As a coach, you're contractually obligated to get your team to the postseason. He has done that every year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
What they do in the postseason is either by luck or draw, or a stroke of fate, but that's all ultimately up to the team. That's where the mantra that, hey man, he ain't out there running the plays for these boys. He can't get out there and play for them. But what we all know and hold to be true is every season that he has coached, he has had more wins than he has had losses. That's an irrefutable fucking fact.
And can I add something to this, bro?
He also got a Lombardi trophy under his fucking resume. So it's real hard to justify getting rid of a man with that type of tenure and with those type of accolades. But they want him gone.
Yep. And if they who is this they you're talking about? Who is this magical they? No, they don't want him gone, Ron. This is the problem between fandom and people who don't really. This is not true. All right, let me tell you why it's not true. Omar Khan is a brand new general manager. All right, he's only his second year. Every general, we've had two general managers as long as we've had two coaches. All right, we don't run through general managers. We don't run through coaches. You guys keep thinking about this from other organizations. There's other organizations, brother, and then there's the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers organization from day one has always operated differently from every other organization in NFL, which is why Pittsburgh is a legacy, which is why Pittsburgh is a true America's team. We didn't want it because we're about the team, we're about the people. We don't care about all that fandom BS that y'all love. I'm just giving you facts. I'm just giving you facts.
Hey, Angelo, when you start telling jokes?
Hey, it's the fact.
Put you on the screen.
I'm just giving you history.
Hey, I know you own the company club, but you can't be up here working out no set.
Hey, listen, I'm giving you
got
history.
To be doing time right now.
Okay, if you look up who the commissioner wanted to name the America's team, look it up. It's historical. He asked the Steelers turned it down. Then he went to Dallas. This is just facts. You can go look it up. I ain't telling you something. I ain't gonna tell you that you can't look up. All right,
okay.
Now, with that being said, the organization is run differently. There's no we want to get rid of Mike Tomlin. No, there is. Omar Khan wants to be able to put a stamp on the team that he's the man, and that he wants the one thing that every coach and every general manager we've had over the last 50 years has. That's a Super Bowl win.
What's the most famous Mike Tomlin meme out there right now? Can anybody recall off the top of their head? I'll answer for you. It's the one where he look at the cameras and walk the fuck off. It's the most overused Mike Tomlin meme out there on social media. That meme came from the question of, Coach, will you be here next year? He looked at the camera and walked off. For the last 4 years, every preseason, there's been speculation as to the fragility and the finality of Mike Tomlin's career.
But that's what every coach
all the sports shows talk about Mike Tomlin, and as soon as the Steelers start losing, which all loser asses, they start saying, what does this mean for the Steelers front office and for Mike Tomlin?
And guess what happened every year for the last 3 years? They've given a new contract.
What happens is they'll end up winning plus 500, and they can't justify firing him.
Because it gets every year it gets a new. You don't listen. The Philadelphia Eagles coach won a Super Bowl and got fired. It's been 3 or 4 coaches who won Super Bowls and got fired. That's why I keep trying to tell you. There's if you people talk about all this firing stuff. Look at his record versus Bill Cowher. He whoops Bill Cowher, but Bill Cowher there was never no question about he was getting fired. It just don't happen in Pittsburgh. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't happen here. There's no justification. This ownership does not do what every other organization does. That's why we're still competing every year, because we operate.
They're gonna do the same thing to him they did to Cowher. They just gonna strongly suggest that he gone and retire. He's not gonna fire him. They're just gonna give him a grand send off. You can be ceremonious about it as you want, but I believe, and this is just my belief, And as Bo P said earlier, I could honestly give two greasy P. Diddy fucks about y'all. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah, and we feel the exact same way about y'all.
Well, that's why I was like,
as a black man, looking at how a black man has etched a indelible mark in the industry of professional football. Mike Tomlin is a mainstay. Mike Tomlin is as synonymous with football as John Madden. Like when you say Pittsburgh Steelers,
I wouldn't agree with that, but
I'm old enough to remember Bill Cowell with his thick ass mustache and his raspy voice. But since the time that the NFL has become a global phenomenon, which is post 2000, when you say Pittsburgh Steelers, you say Mike Tomlin. When you say black coaches in the NFL, you say Mike Tomlin.
I think
when you say poker face, when you say stoic expression, when you say a man in control of his emotions, when you say outright professional, always has been a perennial role model, you say the names Mike Tomlin. It's only a couple of black men that we can use as glaring examples of excellence in the professional football realm.
And you say all that. So you say all that about him. So why you think he should be fired? You say all that about him. So why you think he should be fired?
I never said that he should be fired. What I said is they're gonna do him like they did Denzel Washington. And remember the goddamn Titans. They're gonna Herman Boone that man. They keep giving him that you can stay long as you win it.
That's any coach.
That's any coach.
But let me say something. Let me just make this statement right here, brother. Well, now let me say this real quick. I do agree. Every year they come at Tom. Every year they come at him.
I don't think they come at Tom every year. They just ask me what's going on. They ain't coming at Tom's job every year.
Yeah, I don't think. I think they got something to say about him every year. I believe that. But
they got something to say about every coach, every owner. They got something to say about him every year.
They ain't got something to say about every coach because I can't tell you half these motherfuckers' names.
Yeah, but let me tell you why they.
You can't tell your team coach name. They got so many of them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but
first of all, our coach name is Brian Shaskadishnash same time. See, all you're not gonna put no fucking disrespect on his name, sir. Thank you very much.
You can't say Schottenheimer.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Because I know it's some Cowboy fans in here, and I've never had it so pleasure to have a Steeler in here. Like you, if I had Ty in here, ooh,
boy, hurry up and say what you gonna say. Shit.
But Dallas, all right. They never figure out what they're gonna do when it comes to a goddamn coach because they motherfucking owner don't have no sense at all. I will say the Steelers owners are pretty much tight. They know damn well you get rid of this black coach, he'll be hired before the night is over.
What's the name of the Dallas Cowboys? He'll be hired. Wait, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Angelo, before you get to cheering for the Special Olympics, what's the name of the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Solo?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. God damn it, Bo.
God
damn it, Bo.
He didn't know.
That was the whole point I was making.
I know damn well who Jerry Jones is. Ugly.
Okay, now for $64,000, what is the name of the Pittsburgh Steelers owner?
Only team I know owner is two of them, and that's I just know what they look like.
Ain't it the Rooney family? Ain't it the Rooney family?
Hey, they just did you dirty, Solo.
No, they do this every week. That's why I stood up. I try to say the most dumbest shit I can think of.
That nigga be here. I'm standing on, nigga. What are you standing on? It might be wood. It might be concrete.
I saw that coming.
Two things real quick. Number one, the thing that you talk about with Mike Tomlin, I want to say this. can we admit that we feel a way because of how we feel about Mike Tomlin as being one of the long-standing, successful black coaches in the NFL? So the way they treat him, even if it was the same way they were treating, say, I don't know, whatever the coach was named last year,
You don't know either.
McCarthy, excuse me, in Cowboys land, who's now I think going to Chicago, something like that.
Cowboys coaches get college 10 years. You get 4 years.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a revolving door, right? But Tomlin, he has such respect because he's been able to generate this success. But at what point in time do they say, look, the success is not enough? We want a whole chip. Like they're not getting the chip. When's the last time they got a chip?
Let me ask this question. Based on what you just asked, right? Let me ask y'all, which coach should be on the hot seat? Which coach be on the hot seat? When the coach that, as you come into the season, everybody says, this is going to be the year they have a losing season. This is going to be it. He hasn't had a quarterback. He hasn't had this. This is going to be the year to have a losing season. Or the coach that they come into the season says, this year is Super Bowl or bust. They've had all the pieces in order. They've had this, they had that. This year they should win a Super Bowl and they get knocked out in the first round or they get knocked out in the second round. They never make it past anything. Which coach should be on the hot seat?
Nigga, that's a hard ass question. Now
I don't know. Which two teams are you talking about?
All right, now you got the Baltimore Ravens, who are John Harbaugh, who every year for the last 5 years they're supposed to win a Super Bowl. They're supposed to have all the pieces. They're supposed to have all the pieces in place, but fall short every year. Versus a team that they're not even supposed to be nowhere near the playoffs. They're supposed to be a losing team. It's supposed to be the first losing season, and they still win 10 games. They still win 9 games. They're still in the playoffs. Which coach should be on the hot seat? The one that got all the pieces and can't win, or the one that don't have no pieces but still win?
That's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. The fact that you got Jim Harbaugh sitting over there resting cushy, and niggas talking about the fragility of a Mike Tomlin is my exact point.
But Jim,
they gonna fuck around and get. They gonna fuck around and get.
Impossible question to answer. Angelo, I would say over 50% of the coaches in the NFL is on the hot seat because the way they move around coaches so fast now. You know, it's win today and not tomorrow.
No, that's true.
You know, they want to win today and not tomorrow.
But I'm asking specifically. I'm asking specifically about, and I say these things because I like people to think about. You know, and I hate making everything about race. I really do. However, a lot of things are about race and a lot of things about media perspective, but a lot of things about how we as fans discuss these kind of conversations, right? And that's why I said question, because, you know, I be trying to type in to Shannon Sharp all the time because he's still a hater as well. But I'm like, how do y'all support people talking about Tomlin this, Tomlin that, but then right behind that you say, but he don't have no police, he don't have no quarterback. He don't have no this. He don't have no that. But you expect him to win. This guy over here has all the pieces in place. He got a 3-time Super Bowl MVP. He got a 2,000-yard rusher. He got 4-3, all these 5 receivers. He got this deep in the front. He got these 3 running backs. Why don't we want to require him to win a Super Bowl? Right. Why be on the hot seat? Why is he not on the hot seat?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? We're talking about Mike Tomlin on the hot seat. But for you on the hot seat for what? For winning with less? That what we're talking about? For winning with less?
If you're trying to get Shannon Sharp attention, I don't know if you young enough
or white enough.
Or white enough.
Or if you ain't big enough.
I put it like this. If Andy Reid don't make it back to the Super Bowl and lose, is he on the hot seat?
Shit,
no. No, for a whole lot of reasons that Angelo said earlier about.
I believe Andy Reid is bulletproof. Andy Reid took the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl.
Bam!
And won both of them.
You ain't put no.
Angelo, when did Jim Harbaugh have his last Super Bowl win?
Shoot, it was so long. It was with doggone Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
We're talking about what, 10 years ago? We're talking about at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, 2015. When was Tomlin's last Super Bowl win.
He
with the
won it. He won it with oh boy. He won it.
He won with Ben Roethlisberger in 2000 when I had my sports
2009.
bar. It wasn't too far off. We talking
It
about
was
a year or two apart.
2012, I want to say 2012, 2013, something
Yeah,
like that.
we talking about a year or two apart from each other. They're very close when they won the Super Bowls.
2009.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, does the fans have a play in getting rid of coaches for his attendance? Or the coaches or the owners saying, hey, we need this type of coach because if we ain't winning, at least we're going to fill up the stands. We got to keep the stands.
Pittsburgh still going to fill the stands. Pittsburgh still going to fill the stands, man, if they name you head coach, Bo Pete. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. You know what I mean?
The front line, nigga.
But I want to know what's your point on the Super Bowl, on the question though. I'm just curious where you're going with that.
The question is because I'm saying
is not you, Bo.
For me, I feel like the reason why Harbaugh isn't as much in that seat is because his success in the Super Bowl realm has been more recent than Tomlin's. And Tomlin has been coasting. Sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if the record. I'm not a fan of neither one of these things.
Yeah. I believe that's true.
More recently than Tomlin.
But he's also lost. But he's also lost.
If any team goes for 10 years and they just keep making it to the AFC or NFC championship and not actually making it to the Super Bowl, not actually winning the Super Bowl, at some point in time, that ownership is going to be like, okay, how do we get to the next step instead of
No, the fuck they not. No, the fuck they not.
I'm not saying this.
If your team make it to the conference championship every year, that means that your team.
Like Ron, let me finish this point. Mike Tomlin has established a culture of success in Pittsburgh, almost to the point that he's made it the standard. He's damn near made it so that his success has become his own enemy. He's got to the point where you have to make it to the playoffs to be a Pittsburgh Steelers coach. But at some point in time, those terrible towels, do they say, look, the playoffs is cool, but we want to chip? That's the only point.
Of course we want to ship. Of course we do. Of course that's the standard. There's no question about that. We always singing for number 7. There's no question about that. But we also got to say, what is my team doing to get us there? And it's bigger than the coach. All right. We have to, as fans, we knew back then Roethlisberger was on the way out, but they didn't want to draft a quarterback because they didn't want to hurt Roethlisberger's feelings. They drafted Mason Rudolph, and Roethlisberger got pissed and said, why we waste a second-round pick on him? You know what I mean? So because he has a great relationship with the team, he had a great relationship with the GM, and the ownership, the Rooney family loves him, right? So they didn't do it. So now they became that's the issue because they didn't draft a quarterback, which a lot of teams don't do when they have a star-studded quarterback. Look what Tom Brady did when they drafted a quarterback. You know what I mean? He gave him an ultimatum. So it's just
Tom Brady did some shit that time.
Huh?
When he did that, I thought that was some G move, right?
But he did it, and they got rid of quarterback, I was like, you know what I'm saying? So this is the issue. So I think what you're doing, what you ask that question is, you're giving an excuse to Baltimore because it doesn't matter if it was a 3-year gap between the two Super Bowls. That's not a significant gap. That's not a significant gap. 3 years. But keep in mind, we went to the Super Bowl again after that. We lost, but we just lost to Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? So we've been twice. Tom's been twice. Won one, lost one within that same time frame. So, but my point is, Baltimore has supposed to have the entire formula to win a Super Bowl. They got the entire roster. They got a 3-time MVP. Now, if my coach had a 3-time MVP and had the entire tools to win a Super Bowl and kept falling short, do you think he'd be on the hot seat then? Do you think he'd still be the head coach? You know what I mean? If you got all the tools in place, that's all I'm saying. We putting so much attention on Tomlin on the hot seat, but we allow somebody like a Harbaugh to go free. No, he shouldn't be. He should be under the same hot seat or even hotter because you got everything in place. But I'm just saying, there's organizations that handle things differently, and Baltimore's another one. They really offer the Pittsburgh recipe in terms of organizational stuff. They do things differently. And if you keep firing head coaches, guys, your team don't make it to no Super Bowls.
They sure don't.
They don't
got a lot
it
of.
doesn't work that way.
If your coach, I don't care what they say, man. All of these positions on this fucking football teams are staffed by men, by human beings, which means they got working ears and working eyes. They hear and they see these conversations that are had about them, about their performance, and about their longevity or lack thereof. Is the bottom gonna fall out? They all understand that. We watch these shows like Hard Knocks and shit for entertainment, but when they come tap you on the shoulder and say, "Coach, want to see you," and always bring your playbook, that ends a lot of niggas' dreams, man. And the same thing happens in the front office too. Niggas get fired every day. But the point I'm really trying to ultimately make is they hear this shit going on. And that shit gotta affect your performance, bro. Imagine being married to a woman who walk around every day and you hear her on the phone talking to her friends about whether or not every year they have a conversation on whether or not she gonna divorce you. Are you really gonna step up and be the greatest husband you can be?
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, I believe you, man. Hey, real quick, Angelo, how you became a Steelers fan? Yeah, I understand you're not from Pittsburgh.
Well,
Beans or green, man.
I'm not from Pittsburgh, man, but honestly, where I am from, we used to live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the first team I ever seen on TV was the Pittsburgh Steelers. 90% of my family were Washington Redskins fans. I'm never the guy that goes with everybody else. I don't go with the majority, so I'd never cheered for the Redskins a day in my life. You know what I mean? So when I was 4 years old, man, I asked for a Pittsburgh Steelers outfit, and that's what I got. And I've been locked in since 1974. And I've never cheered for another team since 1974. I adopted the Falcons as my second team because I live here. My business partner's a Falcon fan. We got season tickets and all that stuff. But when the Steelers come to Atlanta, I'm decked out in my Steelers gear.
Game. When do the Falcons play the Cowboys this year? Goddamn it! Do the Falcons play? Do the Falcons play the Cowboys this year? Goddamn it!
Look on the schedule.
Hold up, bro. Ain't that funny, Angelo? You said you got season tickets, and he heard we got season tickets. Hey man,
no, we got if ain't nobody proud of you, I'm proud of you, goddamn it. And I believe in sharing in my friend's success. I ain't no goddamn hater. I ain't never been no goddamn hater.
Angelo, what made you want to ask for a Pittsburgh outfit at the age of 4 as opposed to every other team in the NFL?
I love football. Right, I always love football, man. And again, I saw them on TV. I saw this black and gold team, man. And it was just something about them, man, that I just loved, and I just fell in love with them, man. And then it turned out my uncle was a Steelers. He liked the Steelers. My older brother liked the Steelers. And then we had the remember that? I don't know. Oh, y'all love. They had the electric football game where you had to put the thing on it and turn on it vibrates. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it was the Steelers versus the Cowboys. Yeah, the Steelers versus the Cowboys. I've hated the Cowboys ever since then. I've always hated Cowboys, even on the electric football.
So basically, your brother used to kick your ass in electronic football, and you didn't want to be left out at your house. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing you say. That's what I'm hearing you say.
No, man, but yeah, everybody's Redskin fans, man. But my whole family, just all of them, most of them turned on the Redskins. They got rid of Doug Williams. Some of them turned on them. Some of them Baltimore fans. I got Uncle live in Baltimore, But I've been a Steelers fan since '74, man. I ain't rooting for no other team in my life.
Can I in a moment of candidacy, in a real quick moment, I gotta say when I
nigga, a moment of what? What word was you finna not say correctly?
Candor.
No. I know what word he wanted to use, but that nigga said candidacy.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah, nigga. We heard you stumbling from it, nigga. You got up out of there. You got up out of there, bitch, real quick. Your retreat game was amazing.
I had to think twice because
you got right back up out of there. But we heard you.
All right, anyway, my point was I was gonna say when I used to play Madden 64. Which I hope I ain't the only one on this bitch that used to play that shit.
You would have got
nigga. It was always Jerome Bettis, nigga. Goddamn on the nigga the bus. Nigga, you put the bus behind your goddamn quarterback, nigga, you getting 8 yards off rip. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's why I'm fucking with the Steelers the hardest. So it's kind of cool to see that they still doing their thing, but hopefully they survive this. I don't know. Because I personally feel that Aaron Rodgers brings too much of a sideshow. You don't have that feeling, man? Like Aaron Rodgers is a whole talker. He's on every talk show, podcast. He's doing the Pat McAfee spilling his beat. Don't you think that throwing him in the mix kind of brings a little bit of a sideshow to Pittsburgh?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I don't. And for one reason and one reason only. The same person we've been talking about the last 20 minutes. Mike Tomlin. That's Mike Tomlin's team, bro. When he went to the Jets, he was bigger than the team. He was bigger than the coach. It was Aaron Rodgers' show. That's not going to happen in Pittsburgh. It's Mike Tomlin's show. And
That's
Aaron
true.
Rodgers is going to humble himself to Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean?
Think about what they did to Robert Saleh.
Bigger. Huh?
Think about what they did to Robert Saleh up at the Jets. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave that man that job. Hey, black man, we know we've been eating dick for the last 6 years with Teddy Bridgewater who was the Mexican boy they had right before Bridgewater?
Sanchez.
So they knew that Mark Sanchez, Teddy Bridgewater had been bringing them.
Hold on. Like Angelo was saying, like, when Rodgers went to the Jets, he was bringing his own players with him. He was picking the offensive coordinator. He was doing all that. But here, all they say, hey man, play your role. We got this. You can't bring your players. You can't bring your favorite players from the other team. We ain't bringing nobody from the Jets over here. Only thing I'm worried about is who else he got to throw to besides
DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK Metcalf. Who else he got to throw to? That's the only thing I'm worried about.
We gave away Pickens to you guys. I hate that with a passion because that's going to help y'all out so much. And I don't want to do nothing to help y'all out.
We appreciate it though.
But yeah, I bet.
It evened up the field for real because now CD and Pickens.
Oh yeah.
Man,
y'all got what I thought we were gonna get. I thought we were gonna have Carl Pickens and DK. I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be fun because you can't double neither one of these guys. You know what I mean? So that's the situation y'all got. You double one, the other one gonna kill you. This is gonna probably be great offensive numbers for you guys, and I hate it. But I think we have enough young talent in the receiving core, and then we brought in We brought in a couple of veterans like Gabe and Gaineswell from the. He was with the Jets actually, but we got a few pieces that's gonna help. We got a great tight end. You know what I mean? So I think if they get the camaraderie with Aaron Rodgers, and that's what you saw last week, throwing the ball to people not there because Aaron expects certain things and expects the receivers to know it. You know, that's why I'm glad he went ahead and signed now so we can get that timing down. But now this is gonna be Mike Tomlin's team, man. Don't ever get that jump.
Angelo.
Talk to me.
And the thing
Angelo Uptown Steeler.
Oh yeah.
Behind you. Young man, is that a picture of Good Times, the thing from Good Times behind you? On what?
No, that's actually the Last Supper, the black version.
The black version
of
that dude, the same artist.
This nigga thought that was Ernest Slade behind you.
Yeah, that's Malcolm X over there. That's doggone Booker T. That's Booker T. That's the black
that ain't
Last
the
Supper.
same artist. That ain't
Let me say this.
man.
Let me say this. Mike Tomlin, if you ask all the players in the league who would they like to play for, they all said Mike Tomlin.
All of them.
So it must be some kind of something going on. That I mean, if the Pittsburgh Steelers got rid of him, who they gonna get to replace him? Who you know what I'm saying?
Replace him with who?
With who? And then every team out there want him. If he moved tomorrow, every team out there want him.
Facts.
So I don't understand the fuss about Mike Tomlin. I don't understand where that's coming from.
I think it's honestly, I don't know if this is much of a fuss. I think it's kind of where the public goes. They don't know where else to go. When a team doesn't go where I think they feel is the next step, they go to the quarterback and they go to the coach. And They've already done something about the quarterback. So now they're looking at the coach. So it's just the nature of the biz. I think
another thing. Another thing, y'all talking about Aaron Rodgers doing podcasts and all this. He's not committed to the game, but that's the new way of the world. That's the new way of the game now. Social media and media is just as big a part of the game as ever. And also coaches who's coming in and then these guys play music in the locker room. Times have changed. It used to be back in the day, you couldn't play that kind of music in the locker room. Can't be happy on the field. You can't enjoy yourself. It's strict, you know what I mean? They was enforcers of that. Now, a lot of the teams are letting these guys be a little bit more loose in the locker room. Let them play, you know, with some fun and not restricting and holding them back some. So, I mean, a lot of coaches can't coach grown men. It takes certain men to coach grown men and get it all out of them.
A cell phone rumbling on the ground.
Yeah, but there's a difference though, don't you think? Between doing podcasts, doing interviews.
Coming around how I'm naked with a distraction. Hell, I'm online, man.
Hey Vince, you talking, but Bo almost caught a stroke.
A grown man walked in my garage with his shirt off. What the hell? Yeah.
Did he have baby on his hand?
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, he got a bottle of baby out his back pocket.
Hey man,
what's going on? All right, let's back to the business. Back to the business.
Back to what?
Back to the business.
No, nigga, what the fuck is you tell? What business you got going on?
This nigga came over my house with his shirt open. I said, "What's wrong?" He's, man, I ain't got no air conditioning in my car. I said, "God damn."
Hey, serious too. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Hey, can we switch?
Speaking of weird shit that's going on,
hold on, man. You gotta. Oh, go ahead.
What the fuck is going on?
Hey man, if I see this nigga chest again, I'm running. I hear him. He like,
he said, I hear him.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Hey, but as we transition, man, just for the last point, my Steelers, I said it earlier, I'm saying at the end, so y'all can say this video, come back to it. We're going to win 11 games. No less than 10, but 11 games with Aaron Rodgers. We're going to start the season off 4-2. 5-1 or 4-2. Look at them first 6 games. Y'all gonna be like, man, that dude really a Steelers fan, man. Watch out. Go ahead.
So let me ask you a question. Since you're a real Steelers fan, you say they're gonna do 11 games. Yeah. And I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers, and I'm listening to what y'all saying, and it does make sense. But I have to ask the question: what will you do if you don't get 11 games? What will you do when you come back on the show? Cause nigga, you got to come back on the show. What will you bring to? I don't want to hear Aaron Rodgers got hurt. So you know what happened? That's what old niggas do. Old niggas get hurt. Hell, I got hurt getting out of bed this morning. So I'm trying to say is what you gonna say, sir? When I
mean, listen. We won 9 games. We won 9 games with Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and Duck Hodges. You know what I'm saying? So I feel confident with Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be a 2-game upgrade.
Angelo, what Solo was asking is if they win 10 games and that means you lose, do he get booked for the weekend?
Oh, you gonna come on the show with your shirt off?
No, not
why you need everybody's shirt off, Bo? What's going on?
You don't want him on the show with his shirt off.
If he lose, he gotta come on the show with his shirt off. That's it.
Yeah, I'm finna go put another shirt on.
Hey, Solo, can you go look to make sure ain't nobody chained up in goddamn Bo Peep basement with his shirt off?
Don't make Solo no accessories to what they got going on over there.
They doing Gwinnett County out there, bro. I don't even know, man. When y'all niggas get money, they start having niggas over with their shirts off oiled up. Nigga, I just get your little book and Solo.
Puffy party, we have a puffy party around here, bro.
Will you agree to book Solo for a weekend full of guest spots if the Steelers only win 10?
I mean, if you say the word only win 10, that's still a win.
But
Hey,
you
You said 11. 11 is 11. Go get my 6-year-old, bring it
I
back in.
said
My son
10
ain't
or
gonna take
11 games. But we win 10 games. I'm excited, bro.
You say that?
Angelo,
Talk to me.
they talking about. The Cowboys come to the Falcons on week 4.
Oh, yeah. We need
All
to.
right, there you go. They come to the Cowboys on week 4. If y'all lost 3 games, you gotta get me and Black Run your tickets.
I think
If they
that should
lost
be
3
the rules
games,
right there.
if they lost 3 games by week 4, you get me and Run your Cowboy tickets.
Hey, hold on.
Your
Hey,
Falcon
Black Run,
tickets.
what's that? That's September. That's September 7th. What week is it?
He ain't gonna make that
they
bet.
said they ain't got the date. They don't have the date and
Man,
time
he
yet
ain't gonna make his
because
homeboy be
they don't
ready.
know where they're gonna play.
They be like,
Now
Circle back.
the Cowboys play the Falcons in the preseason in August, but that's gonna be in Dallas. So I'm hoping that when they play in the real season, it's in Atlanta.
If they play in the preseason, they don't play them in the regular season.
I like to.
No.
Go ahead.
They never do that.
I just wanted to switch it up a little bit because this is stand-up sports bar, and we got a dude who runs a stand-up comedy club in the room right now. And as I know,
lose his job.
Yeah, right?
You don't know who Bo talking to.
Man,
Him
you
or the
supposed to talk
dude
right
in that
past
shirt.
that, man. Damn, who is you, the police, Vince?
I'm making sure he all right, man. I'm making sure he all right because the dude got up there.
Man, we can see that he
rubbing your eyes,
alive.
bro.
Cut the background
You got to
music back
stop
up
doing
and
that.
segue back into what you was doing on police ass nigga. He cut the whole show off, so he eavesdropped.
I didn't get a
Oh,
show
this
off.
hustling ass nigga. What he did?
Anyway,
I'm a baby oil in these.
as now most of us in here probably done ran a room, maybe even at least produced one night, but it's a whole different beast, I believe, to run a comedy club itself. Like, what's all that like? What's the first thing come to mind? What is it that people don't know about the ins and outs, dealing with the different personalities, dealing with the dates, not being able to fill the room when you thought you was gonna fill the room, booking a comic that you know ain't funny because you know they're gonna bring the seats, but having to fill it up with comedians that actually are funny but nobody knows. Like, what's the delicacies that come along with being a comedy club runner and everybody's right?
I mean, you asked a straight combination, and they all have different answers. but the unknown is simply, it's extremely difficult because of all those reasons. Dealing with the different personalities, dealing with the different issues. It's a people business, and anytime you deal in a people business, you have to deal with all the different, characters, what have you, of people, man. So, and that's coming from the staff, the customers, the comedians, the agencies. It's a nonstop grind. It looks good for the internet, but it's not. It's a beast, brother. So it's you have to really break down every question. But the answer to it is that it's a nonstop grind. I've learned to enjoy it because I can handle things. I can handle controversy. I can handle last minute stuff. It's all the BS that got to come with it, man. But it's a grind, man. It's a real grind. And I've learned a lot about our people.
Expound on that.
I've learned a lot, huh?
Expound on that. What have you learned most about our people?
My honest truth is I've never thought I could be as disappointed at us as I am. You know what I mean? I never thought.
Now go on and take the shoes off of that idea and get comfortable.
This way
don't say what you're saying.
You got to get these comments right now. They about to jump all in there.
Don't say what you're saying.
Well, I do a podcast, man, and I asked the question one time on my podcast: is why do we hate each other so much? And And because I've just learned that we don't support each other, man, the way that you would think we would. And there's a lot of comedians who do a lot of pro-black this, pro-black that. But if you gave them opportunities to put that to test, you'd be disappointed. And which option they would choose, to run this kind of a club, man, it takes, it takes a lot. But the one thing I've learned in this business is you're a slave to the marquee. That's probably the most unfortunate part about the business, is that you become a slave to the marquee. And that's from a customer base, and everything else. You know what I mean? You said earlier about if having to book comedians who are not that funny, but yet they can sell tickets. That's not something that you want to do. You know what I mean? But it's something that you have to do to survive in the business, because it's about putting butts in seats. And because of social media and all the things, people become famous without really being funny. I hate it. And I've said it before, I'm a comedy lover, right? I've learned to really love and appreciate comedy and the art of comedy. And I hate seeing people that don't take that art seriously. While I watch guys who take it seriously, who are extremely funny. It pisses me off when my friends ask me, "Hey man, what's the next big comedian you're gonna have?" I was like, man, I hate when y'all ask that question. I said, because y'all missing some of the funniest comedians in the world, worrying about a big name who really don't give you everything he got. But you're going to get some of the other guys who going to give you everything. When you leave that room, man, you're going to laugh hard, and you laughed a long time. But it's unfortunate when I see that, but I see a half empty room. You know what I mean? Because they don't have that brick name. And then I got these big name comedians who sold out that same room and now won't come back. You know what I mean? And now you won't come back. I've got comedians who I know where you got some of these big breaks from. I've made some of these phone calls. I know some of the phone calls will come in, and now you won't even come back and show no love. You won't show no love. I can't even get a weekday. Get the weekend. You can't even give me a Tuesday, Wednesday night. On your off night, you can't come back. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I say I'm just so disappointed in some of these guys because, and then. I'm all for you making your money. I'm all for that. I'll never knock a brother making his money. You know what I mean? But if you get an opportunity to make a decision between my club and that other man club, and the seats are comparable in size, and you can actually make a little bit more money on my end than even on their end, and you still choose them, what does that say, bro? You know what I mean? What does that say about you? So, I've learned, brothers, that I've learned when I used to hear the phrase, the white man ice is colder, I never knew what that was. I understand what they mean now when they say some people really believe that white man's ice is colder. And that is so disappointing. It is so disappointing. That's what I mean.
Wow. I sure hope he answered all your questions right then, Vince.
Oh, I don't know about the white man ice being colder, but I know the white man fire is hotter.
What?
The white man fire is hotter. It's hell fucking with the white people. Yeah.
Angelo, how do you feel Uptown's weathered the transition from location to location?
How we feel we weathered? Well, it's been challenging. It's been challenging because it takes a good year and a half to gather your audience back. When you move, we were downtown for 14 years, so it started off slow. It picked up. It became a legendary spot. You know what I mean? So moving from there for that long anywhere else was going to be a challenge, and it's unfortunate. It takes a year and a half to make that move. When we made the move the first time, we were under the impression that, hey, once we get back, everything, man, it wasn't like that. You really lose a lot of steam. And then the fact that I have to deal with so much hate, so much hate, from the other guy in Norcross and the club and the lies, the innuendos,
Damn, they be in your window.
These are big words again.
Yeah. Feel that way. It feel that way, brother. You know what I mean? So it makes it more challenging. You know what I mean? So yeah, moving is difficult. It ain't easy at all. And it's not. And it's gonna be another
solution, Lo. I got the solution.
What's the solution?
I done figured it out. I've been rocking with you since the beginning of my career.
And that was yesterday.
It feel like it. While you bullshitting, it feel like it. Man, you gotta start. You gotta put a strip club next door again. And no matter where you move,
yeah,
put a strip club right behind that some bitch.
Boy, everything. Yo, Angelo have knocked off everything you can think of stand-up comedy clubs. If no one can say that this dude ain't been next to, under, round, inside, going on in there, ever in the history of stand-up, I have never, and to be a black man I've known Angelo, oh my God, I don't know how long y'all known. I know Bo Peep probably known him since Bo Peep had dreads. But I've known Angelo before he even when he was just security. And he was like, yo, I used to come up there and he just said, hey man, he asked me, where you coming from? I said, I'm coming all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. And that's why he was like, hey man, put him on, give him 5 minutes, give him 10 minutes. And I used to get up there, man, and I used to think, and then when I saw him grow to the owner that he is today, I want to say this, brother, in front of everybody, nigga, I am so proud and happy to have known you as an owner, a friend. You have never turned your back. I remember when you gave me my first weekend that I played the music. It was my first weekend in 1990, was in 2000. It was one of those years. And you put me on for the weekend. And Negro, I have been happy and traveling on ever since. I actually got some pussy that weekend, but that was another story. Anyway,
from the strip club that was right behind the club, it brings me back to my original point. You got to put a strip club next door, baby.
Yeah. How about that?
Hey man, I've been knowing you a while, man. I I appreciate the business we do together, and I know it ain't easy, man. But stay at it, brother, because we need you. We need you.
Hey, and I know how hard it is because I actually know that other guy, and he hasn't gotten me there, and only to visit.
Hey man, fuck all that. We're gonna quit talking around it, all right? Y'all keep on asking him when he gonna bring the big black names through there. He can't bring the big black names through there if they feel that doing business with the opposite skinned people's club is better for their image, their brand, or their career. A lot of people try to play like their agencies or their representation is the ones that are suggesting that they work with opposite houses. But one thing that I've always heard to be true from black club owners across the fucking country is there is this edict out that if you work at the black clubs, they'll no longer book you at the white clubs. It's been the same thing ever since Uptown was owned by the other dude, Earthquake. So let's not get it twisted. There's a problem in between people being loyal. We need your consistent attendance. We need y'all to start showing up to these clubs because the club gonna put on a good show. Damn who on stage. When I first started coming to Atlanta, hey man, Friday night, it don't give a damn who gonna be on that stage. You gonna go because Wanda Smith is hosting. You know what I'm saying? You gonna go on Sunday because it's Boo Night. You gonna go up there because Griff got people shaking keys. Like it don't matter who the stage finna see. The fact that you saw them at Uptown is what made the show what it was. And we got to get back to that consistent allegiance of supporting our venues. Motherfuckers want to love you when you're gone. If he put up a Uptown going out of business sign, niggas be all on Facebook, all on Instagram. Oh, my career started here. I remember the nights we did the things. And you remember wins. Well, why the fuck it got to be that? When all you niggas got to do is remember who the fuck booked you when nobody else would. Remember the first green room wall you signed.
Yep, all of them. I signed all of them.
That's all you niggas got to do. Just remember the first green room wall you signed. Remember the first motherfucker who gave you a check from the club for a weekend.
Angelo.
So and if you're not gonna do, and that goes for every club, every black-owned club across the country. Don't forget that like my dad and them say, dance with the motherfucker that brought you. And like Angelo said, damn bro, I can't even get an off day. I understand. You might got to non-compete with your weekends, but I can't get a Tuesday. I can't get a Wednesday. Nigga, you live in Atlanta. Ain't like I'm asking you to travel. So if you want to know how hard is it, or how has it been maintaining or moving from position to position, or competing in this game, or staying relevant, or any of those questions, bro, you got to ask the comedians and the people more than you can ask Angelo. That's like asking a nigga, how do you stay married and this bitch be out here cheating on you?
It's a knowledge day. Yeah.
Next segment, brother. What's the next segment?
That's facts, bro.
Hey man, real quick. Because I know y'all gonna go to a whole bunch of stuff.
Not really.
Oh yeah. But Angelo, a full. Do you think Crawford can beat Canelo?
God damn! Hold on, man. Hold on, wait. Before you go there, man.
Yeah, the way your ass jump segments and shit.
I need to get out of that shit.
No. I just want you to realize after that long ass soliloquy that I offered up.
You just said soliloquy.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I did not say so willicky. I did not say so willicky at all. So willicky. That sounds like a Native American tribe. I didn't say that at all. After that long ass soliloquy that I offered up, I also alley-ooped it to Vince to go to the next segment. Yeah, just for your ass to interject and say, let me say one more thing. Then attempt to change. How you gonna say one more thing about some shit we ain't said nothing about at all?
Because I really under the vent.
It was straight Shaq. It was a whole penny Shaq moment.
I'm talking about
I
looked him off.
My question has not been answered by none of y'all.
This nigga grabbed.
I know y'all gonna go straight to the NBA. I know that's where we're going.
No, bro. I threw an alley-oop in the air, and your ass, Dennis Rodman, jumped, got the ball, and threw it back to the top of the key. Nigga, you J.R. Smith us right there. You J.R. Smith us right there.
No. This nigga made a whole alley-oop. God damn, it's all good though. Hey, I just want to. I had one because you said something. Honestly, all of us on here as performers. I know you ain't as familiar with me, but all of us as performers. It touched my heart when you said that there's a lot of funny comics that a lot of folks don't pay to come see just because they don't know them, and I've kind of come to accept that as the nature of the biz. And I don't think that that's actually exclusive to comedy. I think that that's just the way it is, mainstream to independent. You know what I mean? I think people tend to flock to brands. That's just how they are. But knowing that and being a club runner that you are and owner, like who are some of the names that you wish people knew more about? Like right now, there's probably like some funny ass. Now everybody on the screen, look, I know you know these niggas, and you ain't gotta cape for that. But like in your phone right now, you gotta go 2 or 3 or 4. Like I know whenever I hit this nigga up, I know if we ain't got somebody on the show that's gonna bring it, I know these niggas gonna bring it. Is anybody you want to put out there like that right now that's just on the top of mind? You know what I'm saying?
Put that nigga out there.
See, that's always a dangerous question because I don't want to leave people off. You know what I mean? Because it's so many of them. But what I can tell you is, outside of people on this screen, because all these guys are dynamic. And I'm not just saying it because I'm here. I mean, I really enjoy watching their comedy. I know I've mentioned Black Ron about our interview together because I was so happy to see the responses it got because I know how funny his brother is. And but his interview, you knocked out a lot of guys who, supposed to be, but your numbers was killed a lot of theirs. I was like, man, you know what I mean? So, but
these niggas still don't like me, Angelo. You can't say nothing like that, man. You gotta hush. These niggas still don't like me, man. You gotta.
But Bo and Solo did a show recently, man. And I really want more people to see their show because they're under, they don't get the props I think they deserve. And then you got people that gets out there a little bit, but not, you got your Mario Torres, who's on a whole nother level, But I'm gonna give you guys who have been around a long time, but I don't think ever got that big break. The Laugh Loves, the Steve Browns, and I go to my boy, he hosts the shows a lot, Daryl Dam.
Why you keep putting Nesto up here, bro? You stupid.
Well, he's another funny joker, though. You got to show. He put up some of the shows coming up. That's some shows coming up.
That's a real. That Nesto.
Yeah.
I mean, Angelo got on the website.
Yeah, that's the show. He's doing Thursday night. Man.
But speaking of long-standing comedians that be doing their motherfucking thing, man, Nesto is one of them.
Nesto's one of them. We got so many, man. We have so many. And I guess that's where the difference of the social media age took over. That if you don't really know that social media like that, it's really hard to get the push because people will come out to this club to see the comedians. Well, now they can see everybody right here, and it makes it even more challenging, from the club and to get their names out there like that. But it's just so many, man. I think we produce a lot of good guys out there who who I hope get opportunities, who deserve opportunities. I try my best to push for as many as possible. People, even got some of the females, Erica Duchess, Kelly Kales, who are extremely funny, Shimas and old school Doodoo Brown. He's making this comeback with the Country Wayne stuff. I'm happy to see that. It's just so many, man, that are out there. I just
that's Solo.
We talked about you earlier, brother.
We have to keep.
I said you and Bo Peep. I wish more folk came, but I just say more people came to y'all show. So because I think both of y'all brothers are funny, man. There's just so many, bro. It's just so many. That are really, really funny. I can't recall the last time we put out a show that I said, oh man, that was terrible. That Uptown produced. Now people have brought in shows that were
things happen. You don't want to go there. Things happen.
Because y'all know I'm an asshole. I'll be like, just for example,
without using no names. Hey, but I want to point out something without calling out a name. I'm actually going to hang out with him this weekend. I'm not going to call out his name, but me and Wade Ball going to hang out with because he here shooting the movie. And he decides to do the other club. And I never did think about it until you just made it so clear how they do it. And I'm like, why would he do that? Why would he go to the other club and Uptown's right there? They would have made accommodation for him because of who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, I'm going to do a show at the other club, just making an announcement, knowing that his EIG so strong that, and the Amaranths and everything that Uptown provides.
What?
Don't mother
motherfuckers, it's not time.
No,
We
it's
trying to figure out what an emerald is. What's an emerald?
Did this nigga say the ambulance?
The amber,
the Amorites.
The ambulance.
the amber.
You mean he's trying to say the amenities? He's trying to say the amenities.
Yeah. Everything that Uptown offers.
That nigga said they amortize.
Everything
No.
that Uptown offers and the way it looks, the way it goes. I couldn't. I that's something I gotta ask him. I'm putting it on my word. I'm gonna ask him. I have to, because you bringing that up. It makes no sense to me. And knowing you as long as I've known you, the businessman you are, and how you work everything out. Don't worry about it. We're gonna work it out. It that right there strikes me hard. Why wouldn't he come there if you just made it off the plan?
I can only say this, man, and it's and he's not the only one. It's been several of them have done that. And it's mind-boggling because you've been over there on numerous occasions and you've gotten screwed over numerous times, and that's the one thing I've always been amazed at, how many times, if I screw somebody over, bro, you would never hear the end of it. You know what I mean? But they can screw somebody over once, twice, three. They get multiple opportunities to show you who they are. You know what I'm saying? And but that's the mentality of our people. And and it's just not the club business. You know what I mean? You can go to that Chinese restaurant up there and get the smallest wings in the world and cuss and be mad at the mug, but come back next Friday. You come over here, you're gonna go on Yelp, you're gonna go here, you're gonna dog us out, you're gonna do all these things. You know what I mean? It's like I just never understood that concept and that mentality. But that's what they do, man. You know what I mean? And then
I can't understand either, Angelo, because you're actually closer to Magic City. So I don't know why they want to go way over there.
Yeah, man. Like I said earlier, man, I have, and this is all. I never thought I could be this disappointed in my people, and I just never thought I could be. And if this business hadn't taught me anything else, man, that's
do better.
If you ever ask me what's disappointing, what's the biggest disappointment in this business, it's how I have been so disappointed in learning my people. I just never would have imagined. I never would have imagined.
Is it mostly you say your people, and I understand that too, but is it mostly the people who come into who come in and your people that come in there as far as fans and everybody who buy tickets, or more so the industry itself working with the artists?
So here's this in a nutshell, right? And Ron said it earlier. They blame the agencies. They do all these things, but the reality is this: the agency makes 10 to 20% off of your shows, right? They don't pay you. You pay them. They work for you, right? And so how can you allow them to tell you, we don't want you playing that club? And you be like, okay. How, as you as a black man, black woman, can say, wait a minute now. I'll play this club, that club, that club, but don't tell me I can't play Uptown. Don't tell me that. You know what I mean? You would just wish, you would hope and pray that more comedians said it now. And I've always given brother like DC Curry, brother like TK Kirkland, I've always given them their props because they won't allow anybody to tell them who and where they can't play at. You know what I mean? But they're such a rare commodity that it's just disappointing. But I hear on the radio and all the other places, these guys talk pro-black, oh, this, oh, that. You hear them every day, and they be like, man, y'all so fake, bro. You don't believe none of that stuff you're saying in your own industry. But you keep questioning other people. I just never understood it, man. And it's just disappointing.
Hey, Angelo, you should
just let me say this. Do you know Do you know how many black clubs have had to shut their doors down simply because these comedians that made it in the black club, they all go back and tell their stories of where they started from and all this stuff, but yet they never come back to support that club again. You know what I mean? And all it would take, if you imagine that all these comedians, all these so-called A-list comedians who making Netflix specials, if all of them just gave that one, if they all said, hey, to the agencies, one weekend or one day out the week, 2 days out of a week, every year, I want to make sure I play at least one black club. Just one. How they could change the black clubs dynamic. You know what I mean? How it wouldn't only be 5 black clubs left. If they all just took that one weekend or one day, they just all said, we got to make sure we play at least. And I'm not saying just play Uptown. If you just said, whichever black club, I'm going to play at least one of them every year. All the black clubs still be in business, bro. Yep. You wouldn't shut these jokers down. But when you stop, and then like Ron said earlier, then you go when it's over with, and you be like, oh man, I remember when all these, nobody want to hear that junk now. You know what I mean? Because you stop. You know, and it's just, and I heard Ian's say the same thing. I went to a ceremony in LA 2 years ago, and he had the exact same issue, you know, with jokers just not willing to play your clubs anymore. And it's just unfortunate, man. It's just really unfortunate.
And I want to say, let people know, when you were talking about the conversation you had with Black Ron, it's called a Sit Down at Uptown. For everybody want to go check out that conversation. It's called a Sit Down at Uptown on YouTube. I'm on there. You're going to see about 85 comics telling their story on there. So it's called a Sit Down at Uptown on YouTube.
It should have been 86 with me on it. I was next. I was in line.
How come your views didn't get as many as Black Ron's?
Because I ain't as dark as him.
Oh, yeah, you went there, bro.
This nigga bring colorism into it.
I was gonna say it's because he be on DC's podcast all the time, so people are used to seeing Bo P on camera at Uptown. I didn't know if DC was still doing his podcast, so I didn't want to make mention of it.
My numbers are doing. They did okay. They doing okay. They steady growing, but they ain't big as Black Ron, man. He's doing his thing.
Pause. Come back.
Great shout out to Sit Down Uptown, man. These are great interviews, man. You learn so much more about these guys that you just didn't know. It's very, very good information, man. We really enjoyed
Angelo claimed he can smoke. Angelo claimed he could play dominoes. Now all he did was smoke big old cigars and made it so that I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. That's how they play the game. They make sure you can't breathe.
Not only is Angelo a cigar nigga, he a bitch I'm rich size cigar. Nigga,
does he cut it off? Does he have the cigar?
Yeah, one of them he got to cut the tip. Yeah, he cut the tip off of it.
No, he do it all.
He got the cigar
slice. His finger be way in the air like this.
Yep. And he'll sniffer because he can tell you what they smoking before you walk in the door. He could tell you what kind of cigar they smoking. Oh, he know that.
Nah, say it ain't so, bro.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. He'll never have enough whiskey because all he drinks is tequila.
Whiskey. Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth.
Hey, but since we have moved so smoothly, can we transfer over?
No. You just did it a goddamn again.
Now I gotta get his answer.
Give my belt.
I gotta get his answer. I gotta get his answer.
Hold on. I was tempted to kind of. This is not really a segue. This is a hard push, real quick. I would ask you where you're from, because I don't know if we really got that. I know everybody on here knows, but I don't think that came
Virginia. Out. He's at Virginia.
What? Oh, he did say Virginia. My bad. All right.
Yeah, I'm from Portsmouth, Virginia. That's where I'm originally from.
There it is. Okay. So they don't have
a baseball military, so we travel a lot.
They don't have a baseball team in Virginia, so you probably don't have a baseball team. Probably ain't really into baseball. So it's crazy stuff.
I'm into baseball. I just don't have a favorite. I don't just watch baseball a lot, but I definitely rock with the Braves. I'm not a team hopper, so but I like players. You know what I mean? But if I had to choose one, it'd probably be the Braves.
Braves. All right, Braves going through a little something right now, but the All-Star game is in Atlanta this year.
Yeah, they're gonna try it again.
We'll see what happens. And Acuna is doing all right now, but baseball isn't necessarily popping. We've already been through that multiple times. What is popping right now, of course, is the NBA, and you probably follow it. You may even know that the Pacers just recently lost to the Thunder, and the Thunder look like they could take this in the next game. What say you, my friend? Do you think that the Pacers have any chance to either rally back to tie it up or possibly even take this all the way to the chip itself? What say you?
You know, this series, man, has been a very interesting series. I think this series is more for a basketball fan if you really enjoy the sport as it is, because this has been these two teams are really evenly matched for the most part. I do believe OKC is the better overall team, and I do believe OKC will eventually win the whole thing. I hope for a game 7. It won't surprise me if it ends in 6, especially if Halliburton can't come back. But this whole playoff has been so unpredictable. I mean, can you imagine if you would have put, I said this at the club one night, man. Can you imagine if you would have put up some money at the beginning of the season to say OKC versus Indiana in the championship? What the odds would have been for that?
You've been rich.
What?
Rich. You ain't have to put that much. All you got to do is put what, $100? You'd have been the richest.
You definitely would have got a visit from the FBI.
They damn sure want to know.
They want to know how you got the fix like that there, nigga. Nigga, this shit is 180,000 to 1.
He ain't say who won. He ain't say who won. He said who gonna be there.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine,
nigga, this was the longest shot of long shots, and you put $5 down, nigga. How did you know that this $5 bet pay $1 million? You motherfucker, you.
Yeah, because there was some adamant Lakers supporters on this spot where the Lakers were definitely gonna win. I don't know who they are. I ain't gonna point them out, but there was definitely some folks on there who just knew the Lakers was going all the way.
You had to bring this shit up and put my face in it.
Well, I was wrong. I was wrong. I thought it was gonna be over in 5.
You wrong for what you did, bro. You don't even want to support me and say when nigga hit me like that in front of Angelo, you could have did that shit another time, but you did it in front of Angelo. See what I'm saying?
Get you right in your bottom lip with it.
But I was wrong. I thought it was gonna be over in 5, but it's gonna go 6 now. Looks like.
I told you, bro.
Well, I was closer than y'all. Y'all said 7. You said 7. I think 6 gonna be it.
Everybody said 7, but you, I believe, if I am mistaken.
Yeah.
Like Ron said 7. I think Solo.
Halliburton gonna do the most amazing shit you ever seen. He gonna come back and play. They probably gonna win that game, and then OKC gonna beat them in OKC with all the gravy. It's gonna be at least 20 points. I'm trying to tell you, 20 points. Them boys gonna whoop on that ass.
It's gonna be like in grand fashion.
All that money they making right now.
I agree. I think we go to game 7. OKC gonna run away with it. But this is one series, man. It don't matter who make a run. The other team gonna make a run. I mean, they've shown that.
Oh yeah, they could be down 33 points, and they'd be like, "That's all right. Run that same offense that we run. Next thing you know, we up 5. How the fuck?"
Yeah. It's been that kind of series, man.
I hope Jalen Williams gets the all the love and support and endorsement dollars and shit that Jaylen Brown didn't get. They love fucking over the dark skinned Jalen on the team. That second man on the roster that's really doing all the quiet, heavy lifting. They low key be fucking them over, and it's because they have 2 big old 7-foot white men on the team. They got Chet and they got Isaiah Hartenstein. I know that they look better optically for the powers that be. But Jalen Williams, I don't know if y'all watched him last night, took that goddamn game and put it in his hip pocket, particularly in the third quarter where he always flourishes. In the third quarter, Jalen Williams begins to walk niggas down the left-hand side of that court and have his way with him.
He's preaching right now.
I got to run, guys.
All right. See you, nigga.
Hey, tell him we said goodbye. Y'all have a good rest of the day.
Oh, him and shirtless man finna go have
Yeah,
some fun.
little picnic out by the lake. Fuck Bo P got going on over there, man. Let me stop. Anyway,
yes,
anyway,
Lord.
Leroy, you were saying.
But yeah, bro. I've watched this young man save Oklahoma City's life on more than a few occasions. A couple of those wins that they would not have had Jalen Williams not done what he has continued to do all postseason long. That nigga need a bigger bag. He need more endorsements. And I ain't talking about endorsements alongside Shea, alongside Chick. He needs his own standalone thing. I diagnosed it as Scottie Pippen disease. You get where you were so great on your own in your own individual rights and lights, but because you were attached to phenomenon runs or phenomenon people, that your greatness gets swallowed up in their life.
Swallow.
Like when people talk about the greatest of all time and this, that, and the third, and they use Jordan's record to differentiate him from other people that they compare in that conversation. I oftentimes wonder why when people talk about Scottie Pippen, they don't use those same accolades. Like Scottie Pippen went to as many Olympics as Jordan. He got as many rings as Jordan. He got as many, you know what I'm saying? He went to the All-Star game a bunch of times too. He was Defensive Player of the Year too. So, but people don't talk about Scottie Pippen the way they talk about Jordan. And I hate to see that even in this day and time, you got the second man up who gets the shit end of the stick. That's all.
Yes, you do. And that nigga mad ugly.
Well, I still I have a feeling. I mean, I didn't really have a strong one now, but I get this feeling that OKC got a little momentum. I don't know if it's gonna make it all 7 games.
Little momentum. Have you been watching the games?
I'm just saying. Score 40 on them. I don't know if it's gonna go 7. Everybody on here has 7 except for Bo P. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds good when someone says
Indiana might win, like Mike F say, Indiana gonna win. It sounds good. It would be a awesome thing to see, but I doubt it happens. I seriously believe just for the money, the powers that be gonna make sure that Indianapolis win tomorrow. If that boy show up on the court, I believe they probably will win, but not at OKC. It's not gonna happen. I don't see Indianapolis holding up a title at OKC.
All right, cool. Well, before we start getting up out of here, man, I did want to bring this up because we talk a lot on this show, Angelo, about NFL and a lot about the NBA, and I'm one of the few on the show who really is into the baseball game. And there was a clip that I shared with everybody that I thought was a little more reminiscent of a time where folks maybe didn't watch as much baseball. But what say you about this particular fight right here that took place a long time ago, my man?
Broken bat roller toward shortstop, the shuffle, and Clark taking the runner out. Look out, here we go. Look out.
Yo, jumping him. They were jumping you, boy.
Well, we're going to have a good one here. And Bradley is going to go after Ozzy. These two do not care for each other anyway.
Look out. Here we go.
His job. Yeah, Kendall doesn't like it. I didn't like it either.
Okay, look at it right here. And look, see a Kendo hitting Clark in the helmet. And there goes a sucker punch from behind by Ozzy.
And if, like I said, if you're going to throw
look at Ozzy in there again.
He missed that first left right. That first left right might have hurt.
Got
Good for
him.
Ozzy's getting some. Yeah, they have to stop it.
he's getting some ice on his lips.
Just in case you thought my dog Ozzie Smith was any kind of whole cakes or pie slices, my dog pulls up with the whap whap. In fact, I think Ozzie might have been the first to slap. Bop from the back of the head. Bop, bop, bop.
He missed that left right. That left right would have hurt.
If he would have connected on that combo, he wouldn't have had to knock him out twice.
But did you see, like, this was brewing. When he slid in, he's trying to spike them. You see, he's trying to spike them with the feet, with the cleats. And he's like, oh, you gonna, and they standing over and ready. Like, what the fuck? They get up and he's pedaling Okendo. I think that's Jose Okendo. Bill in the back. Bill. And this when the whole team come together. Like, now
I'm talking about he missed with all his might. That boy missed with everything in him. He spent his own body around. Boy, he showed us his whole jersey. He was like, see, on the front, they got this. And on the back, they got this. So, and nigga turned around and showed us his whole outfit.
Hey, the slide was dirty, though. That was a dirty play. That was a dirty slide.
That's what they call, he tried to spike him. He's trying to spike him. And then back in the day, this was basically war. But just this image of them two standing over him like that, man, I don't know. Like, that doesn't happen as much in nowadays. But I think that this happening more often back when this was in the 80s is probably why it was a little bit more.
Now, see, that's how you get a two-piece off. You see old boy that dove in and hit Oz's ass. He dove.
I'm about to.
Run it back. There you go. No, get up, motherfucker. No, nigga, you see what you try to do with your clean something, bitch. He's like, man, get the fuck out of my face. Hey, and then watch old boy dive in. Hit it back. Knock him down. And then here he comes, he dive in. Yeah. He brought Ivy ass for 2 piece from Uber Eats, nigga. Here it is. I delivered it to you.
That last one wasn't fair, man. They went a little too hard that last one, man. I wasn't ready for the last one. All right, but anyway. Okay, these things happen as well. What say you about this, my friend? Oh, shoot.
Give me the ball, nigga.
This is, I believe, somewhere in
oh, they finna tussle. They finna get to tussling.
What?
Boo! Hey, all right. Hey, at least they play at ball though, or is it balls? Not dodgeball. Oh, okay.
Where'd you find this book?
They outside. That's all they are. They outside.
Hey.
That's it.
You got a lot of time on you. That was some good weed you was smoking.
Hey, bro, you gotta play that with one of them blooper cartoon audios behind.
We got It's August 12th, 1984, and we're inside Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. And we have this game, an afternoon game, between the Padres and the Braves. And Alan Wiggins, the Padres' leadoff hitter and second baseman, leads off the first inning. And pitching for the Braves is one of the great wackadoos in baseball history, Pascual Perez. Pascual Perez, first pitch of the game, hits Alan Wiggins. Wiggins kind of stares him down, but he walks at first. And now Pascual Perez comes to plate later in the game, second inning. Padres starters Ed Whitson. Pascual Perez comes up while Whitson, as Pascual Perez squares the bunt, Whitson hits him. And Pascual Perez starts walking toward Ed Whitson with his bat. And Steve Ripley, the home plate umpire, has to grab him and pull him back. And the bench is clear, and the umpire issues warnings to both teams. Now the Braves are up 3-0. They score. Bottom of the fourth inning, Pascual Perez, the Braves pitcher, comes up again. This is when pitchers still hit in baseball. Ed Whitson throws 3 straight inside fastballs at Pascual Perez. Shoom. Ripley ejects Whitson and Dick Williams. And even though they all hate Dick Williams and think he's literally a dick, the Padre players get pissed off because you're ejecting our manager. A new pitcher comes in, Greg Booker. Bottom of the 6th, Pascual Perez comes up again, pitcher for the Braves. Greg Booker throws right at him. The umpire throws him out, then throws Ozzie Virgil, the acting manager, out of the game as well. So 2 managers are gone for the Padres and 2 pitchers are gone. And in the 8th, Craig Lefferts is the new pitcher for the Padres. So you now have another pitcher for the Padres. He throws at Pascual Perez. And Craig Lefferts gets ejected, as did Jack Kroll, the 3rd manager for the Padres. So 3 Padre managers, Dick Williams, Ozzie Virgil, Jack Kroll, have all been ejected. There's only 1 coach left, Harry Dunlop, to even manage the Padres. This time, all the dugouts clear, and shit just gets crazy. A brawl happens, and it lasts for 10 minutes. of Bob Horner, who's the Braves third baseman, but he's on the disabled list with an injured wrist, but he's dressed in uniform. He charges at Champ Summers, and Bob Horner and a pitcher for the Braves named Rick Camp start beating up Champ Summers, and they drag him to the ground along with fans who are now involved in the fight. You know when announcers say, we don't want to see this? That always happens, right? There's a fight and the announcers go, oh, you don't like seeing this. We love seeing this. This is like the greatest thing ever. Everyone loves seeing this. So now it's a ninth inning. Donnie Moore hits Greg Nettles, and there's another fight. This time, Nettles is thrown to the ground by Braves pitcher Rick Merler and Steve Pedrosian as he's running after Moore. Donnie Moore, Greg Nettles, Rich Gossett, Joe Torre, all ejected. Fans behind the Padres dugout, this is in Atlanta, start taunting the Padre players, including Ed Whitson, the pitcher who was ejected and wasn't supposed to be in the dugout, but came back to the dugout. The Padres have a reserve outfielder named Kurt Bavacqua, one of the nicest human beings on the planet. Bavacqua climbs to the top of the dugout with a baseball. So it's August 12th, 1984, and we're in Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. And we have this game, an afternoon game, between the Padres and Alan Wiggins.
Hey, something happened at the strip club the night before the game.
Wow.
Come on,
I never heard that story, man. That's interesting.
Hey, bro, that's the weird.
ATL. This is
that's
Atlanta,
crazy,
bro.
That's crazy.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, this is a big.
Because it was the first pitch off, lead off pitch. You hit a nigga in the hip. Ain't no oops, my bad. Oops, so bad. Bitch, you been warming up for 10 minutes. The fuck you talking about oops, so bad? All right, that's what we doing. I bet. High tight, nigga, yeah. High tight, nigga, yeah. Then they gonna throw a nigga out. Oh, okay, you gonna throw the pitch out, you gonna throw the coach out. Okay, next nigga. Soon as you come up here, get your elbows up. Yeah, high tight, nigga, yeah. Oops, my bad. Yeah, we finna show your ass how this shit feel, nigga. He said he threw 3 100-mile-an-hour high outside right fastballs. He was throwing at that nigga's chin. At 100 miles an hour. Get your bitch ass out the box, nigga. Yeah.
But Ron, that's the part about baseball. I think that people don't really that don't fuck with it because it's boring or I can't watch it on TV. I get it. That they take away the part that every moment of this game, there is somebody throwing somewhere between 80 to 100 miles an hour of an object close to your head, and the object and
throwing a rocket
coming at your head, your feet, your knees, your chest, your rib, your butt. But you gotta hit it somewhere on the field where it can't get caught and thrown out. Every moment of
and them niggas' ability to turn around and take it on the ass should be commended. Because no, there's not no pause, and I said it on the ass, not in the ass, on purpose.
On top,
so they take it in the ass cheek. But if they imagine if they was not to move, if they was to take that shit on the front of their hip or on the side of their hip,
break
that shit is coming fast enough to break bone. And the fact that they gotta turn their body damn near 180 degrees in a millisecond and put the most fleshiest part of the human body out to be excruciated by this fucking baseball and have enough ability to go from in a standing hitting stance, ready to knock that whole out, to standing up straight and turning their body so that they could take it on the ass. It's got to be commended, bro.
Baseball is the most individualized team sport there is. You know what I mean? It's you. The talent to be a baseball player as an individual person is just, I coached baseball for a long time, man. And that's when I gained the most appreciation for it is and I played baseball in high school, but I was an okay player. I was a much better football player, but it's an individualized sport, man. And it takes a lot to be able to see a 100-mile an hour fastball, be able to twerk your body enough to move, to swing that bat, the timing. I mean, it's just an incredible feat, bro. You know what I mean? It's just those guys are special. They really are. They really are special. To make it to the majors.
Angelo, how would you coach your players how to twerk themselves? Get out the way of
I heard that too.
Yeah. You know, the
from
twerk.
Atlanta,
I
he live in Atlanta, man.
not that twerk.
Yeah, he meant twerk like with torque.
The motion twerk.
Torque. TORQUE. Torque.
How would you teach your
twerk was actually a word before stripping, believe it or not.
Okay, all right. I thought he meant like contort, like torque. He said twerk, but he said twerk. Ron, he said, am I wrong? Did he say twerk?
He said torque. He said he did say twerk, but he meant it like as in torque, like with enough horsepower to change your drive motor. Yeah, like
okay.
He didn't mean it like shake your booty cheeks. Like, bro, first of all, if we playing baseball and you start shaking your booty cheeks, I'm gonna throw the ball at you on purpose. I want you to know I'm throwing the ball at you. You shaking your booty cheeks.
I don't know if I can take that. I don't think I can take a person hit me with a baseball at 100 miles per hour on my back, butt cheeks, nowhere, any part of my body.
Yeah, bro. Imagine the dudes that took it in the head before they start coming out with batting helmets and shit. Like,
they died.
Imagine all the black players that used to throw at your head and at your vital organs just because you happen to be playing on a white baseball team, bro. Like,
imagine the nigga who had to do the tryouts until they came out with the right helmet.
Why you think the umpire is so much bigger than everybody else on the field? Because the umpire is really the bouncer. Because if this nigga get hit with this ball, he liable to chase this nigga around the whole field with a stick. Let's not forget that a bat is an instrument capable of ending a nigga's life. What did the mafia and them always used to use to intimidate niggas?
That's right.
Louisville Sluggers, goddamn 36-ounce solid oak, solid hickory bats, nigga. Like,
that's right. Yeah, when they started changing bats for different reasons, man, because literally, man, if they lighten up the bat for a while, they made aluminum bats.
So Vince, you know how we be talking about ways in which to bring more relevance, more viewership to baseball, right?
Right on.
Man, let's just start having like a rule where every 8th home game is an aluminum bat night.
Why would we want to do that? How does that help?
Because can you imagine the home run derby that the major leagues would be if them niggas was out there? I'm talking about every at bat. That hole's gone.
The problem isn't that they can hit it with power. It's can you hit the ball? Because the way they throw it now is so crazy. I mean, last night, Shohei Ohtani pitched his first game, right? And he even threw 100 miles an hour on some of his first pitches. I mean, can you imagine? I'm saying 100 and to y'all it ain't nothing. But 100 miles an hour.
How is that not nothing?
We don't drive
they hit that every day.
You know what I'm saying? It's literally that. Like, you got from this boat. Oh, shit. So whether your bat is aluminum or if it's a whole tree trunk, you ain't got the time to decide whether or not it's at the top of the zone, bottom of the zone, outside the zone, if it's that fast. And then the next one,
if that's the case, then nigga, why they don't allow metal bats in the pros then?
Well,
we need some metal bats.
It's not my point is the bat is not, as you know, at the beginning of the season, torpedo bats was the whole thing. And everybody, torpedo bats is look Volpe that you. But it doesn't matter if you got a big bat, nice bat, heavy bat, aluminum bat, steel bat. If you can't hit the little round ball that comes at it, and that's the hardest part. That's why dudes don't make it in the
That's
field.
the hardest part.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
so,
let me.
Go ahead.
That's the hardest part of having a big bat. You can't hardly hit that little shit when it comes to you.
I was trying to find the one man fight.
He was gone, man. Right. He was gone.
Y'all niggas is 5 years old, man.
I didn't AO that nigga once. I didn't pause it one time. You know, I be out here looking at all kind of bats because I don't know what kind of bat is my kind of bat.
Anyway, I did want to say something about the Rafael Devers trade and all that, but I don't know if y'all looked up on it. But that was the last thing. That was the last comment because we did bring this up on the show once before, and y'all had comments about it. But I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not. At one point in time, I told you that there was a dude named Rafael Devers on the Boston Red Sox who was a third baseman up until the point where they said, hey, we're going to trade for this other guy. They went and got this other guy, Alex Bregman, but they didn't tell Rafael Devers. They told Rafael Devers, look, we're going to have that dude play second base. He's like, all right, cool. When he gets into spring training, they're putting the guy that they brought over from Houston at third base, not saying nothing to Rafi. Rafi's like, what the hell? And then they tell Rafael, you know what? Don't worry about it. You ain't got to play third base no more. And he's like, but I am the third baseman. They're like, nah, it's cool. Just throw your glove in the trash. That's a quote. So he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to hit full time. So the season starts. Their first baseman goes down, Tristan Casas. They say, yo, can you play third base? With what glove? You told me to throw my glove in the trash. They're like, all right, fine, my bad. Then Alex Bregman, the guy that they put in his place, goes down. He's now injured. They're like, hey, would you mind going back to third base for us? He's like, with what glove? You told me to throw my glove away. So now they got problems. And you all were saying they need to let him go or that he need to man up because this is sports. Because
they need to give him some new glove money.
I ain't lying. I'd have brought him a glove that week.
They need to give him some new glove money.
He's already getting paid.
You said that I wasn't shit. I wasn't never going to be shit. I never was shit. Now you come to me like, hey, baby, I need you. And that's cool. But I need to know how bad you need me, bitch. Put a dollar amount on it.
But it's a dollar amount. He's already getting paid over $300 million for a 10-year contract, a 9-year contract in Boston.
No. That's a 9-year contract to play whatever position y'all move me to. Now you got me doing another goddamn job, ho. I'm gonna need some more money.
Yeah, so now they have traded him.
That's like a motherfucker book you, Vince, and you a headliner. And the nigga say, I'm booking you the host.
That's right.
And then the headliner can't make it. No, then the feature can't make it. No. Let me set it up correctly. Let me set it up correctly.
You better say it right.
You a headliner. And a nigga tell you, no, nigga, use a host. Throw your headshots away.
Speak.
I see how
you're not gonna be on the fucking flyer, nigga. Throw your headshots away. And then the nigga say, hey, Vince, the feature can't make it. Can you feature? How? How I'm a feature? I don't even have no headshots to put on the flyer, remember?
Right. Exactly.
And the nigga say, all right, well, we'll find another feature. And then the headliner drop out. And they say, Vince, we need you to headline. How, motherfucker? How?
Thank you.
You told me I wasn't shit, remember? Now that I done got to town, now you want me to reach out to my little fledgling fan base at the last minute to try to drum up sales and get people to come out here. When 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a year ago, I begged your motherfucking ass to headline at this club, and you told me that I wasn't shit but a host to you. Keep that same motherfucking energy, bitch, or I'm gonna need a whole lot more money out of you.
Yo, that's exactly how I feel, man. I thought I was gonna have to argue with y'all about this, but yes, that's how I feel. Like, you can't treat the talent like shit and expect them to kiss your ass when you need them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta treat the talent sometimes. You tell me if I'm wrong. Look, I hate to break. But it's the perfect person to talk to. Like, Angelo, you deal with the talent. You can't always talk to all the talent the same way. You can't treat the talent the same way. There's up and comings and there's legends. Let's keep it real. And we know the difference. I know when I get green room treatment that is exclusive or everybody in the green room treatment, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know the difference. So
my only problem is don't elevate my level of treatment if you're not going to keep it there. Well, however you treat me, keep treating me that way. Don't show me the good shit one time and then expect me to go back to, in other words, like, I know that there are some niggas that y'all come get from the airport because you booked his flight, and you take him to go get breakfast, and you drop him off at the hotel room, and you might take him by the barbershop or the weed, man. And you're going to make sure that you got his fucking rider all the way filled to the T. And you might make sure that he got whatever bad habit he like is facilitated there at the club. I understand what the fuck goes on. But I also know that there are niggas that you be like, hey, the Greyhound let off at such and such time. If you could get yourself here, I got $100 and a plate of chicken for you and one free drink. And I'm cool with the $100 and the plate of chicken and the one free drink because that's all I deserve is all that I can garner. But don't never pick me up from the airport and take me to go get cultured lamb steak and drop me off at the hotel after a massage and put some weed in my pocket and take me to the golf course Saturday morning and Sunday we go by your mama house and you take me to church with you and we eat a home cooked meal at your mama house and we do that one last show on Sunday and then you pay me half check, half cash because you know my child support situation fucked up and then expect me to go back to $100 in them goddamn chicken wings. I'm fighting your ass next time I see you.
See, fighting.
You can't treat me like this. Because I know that this ain't how you treat niggas you like.
That's so true. I mean, he is on point, man. Rafael Devers literally did nothing other than exist. He did nothing other than exist.
But he still got his paycheck, Vince.
He wasn't the best third baseman. He literally did nothing other than exist. They went to go improve the roster. Okay, I get it. Alec Bregman, you want to bring it. But if you're going to bring a new chick into the bedroom, you got to talk to the chick that's in the bedroom already. You can't just
don't nothing warm my heart. Don't nothing warm my heart like seeing a chick I used to fuck with.
That's right.
Doing bad with that nigga that she swore was better than me. Don't nothing shine on my soul, bro. Cause you remember, bro, I've been out here grinding for a long time, like sleeping on niggas' couches, catching mega buses and shit. This comedy has not always been a glamorous occupation to have.
That's right.
I remember being shat upon by a bunch of women that when they see me now, they be like, you still doing your little comedy? You still telling your little jokes? Nah, bitch, I'm trying to minimize what I'm doing because that nigga that you left me for turned out to have a small dick and be a wife beater. No, bitch. No, I love that you're doing bad. Praise God for your failure.
Oh my God. I don't know.
That mother. Anyway.
Not Decray and Clay for my downfall. All right, cool. Well,
no, I don't pray for your downfall. I don't pray for your downfall. I just celebrate your demise. It's a difference. There's a difference. I don't wish nothing bad happened to nobody that I've ever met. But don't ask me to feel sad when bad shit happened to bad people.
Bad shit.
All right, my last question, then we're gonna wrap this up if it's okay.
Hold up, we have to ask. I asked a question. Okay, I asked a question.
Let's make it quick because we didn't help.
Yeah.
He was here before.
I don't want to keep it long either, because y'all interrupted earlier. I was trying to ask the question. I asked you, what do you think about the Terrence Crawford fight with
Canelo?
Yeah.
Canelo?
Stop helping him, y'all. Every time y'all help him, y'all give him credit to keep doing this shit. And my whole point is, you can't break our fucking flow, our stream of consciousness, unless you have all your ducks in a row. How you gonna jump in on what the fuck we talking about, and you don't even know what you talking about? Like that, like until he can fully present his fucking interjection, he can't be allowed to do that shit, man.
Listen.
And every time y'all help him complete his thought, y'all enable him.
No, but my thing is, hold on, before
I need a bigger word for this shit.
I want you to get your boxing question off about Terrence Crawford.
I need to know because that's the most important thing right now.
But I was ending my little baseball stint. Got my clock on. I got 20 minutes on the max, and I wanted to just end my baseball stint. Can I do that real quick?
Fuck your baseball. Go ahead.
That's fair. That's how a lot of people feel anyway. But the only reason I felt
that way, but I was gonna let you finish. But fuck that baseball.
All right, you know what? Fuck it then. Fine, man. Y'all want to hear me a little
fuck that baseball. Fuck that baseball.
I want to shout out Ron Teasley them that allowed me to come and visit with the Negro Leaguers over the weekend in Detroit.
Oh, you should have said it was Negro League baseball, nigga. I thought you was talking about
America, including.
Nah, you ain't shit for that, Vince. You was a whole ass nigga.
One of the
You
first
could have led when it was no. Shut up, because you could have told us that you went and did some monumental historical black baseball shit. You son of a bitch. How could you do that to us? You had us saying fuck baseball 5 times, and then gonna say, I apologize, black baseball legacy. I rescind and I retrieve everything that I said, and I show great remorse and contrition for the words that I allowed to come out my mouth not 2 minutes ago. Please forgive me.
I just need to know what he think, because that's something I want to ask you. But go right ahead if you can answer that.
Go ahead. I did just want to say thank you to them, and I want to give them a little step, but I'll do it on my own little thing for right now.
No. Please talk about that. Talk about that. You could have talked about that when you were showing up. Getting his ass whooped.
That's why I wore the jersey. I got the jersey. This is where they were kind enough to give me this is a Detroit Stars jersey from the Negro Leagues. All right, which I received from them in the suite in Comerica Park over the weekend, where we celebrated Black and Baseball Weekend with the Tigers, who ended up losing in a series 2-1 to the Cincinnati Reds. However, I did get to meet a lot of Negro League players who actually played for teams such as the Kansas City Monarchs, the Black Barons, the New York Cubans, and like I said, even an owner who was a woman, believe it or not, who was one of the few women who owned Negro League teams back in the time of Rube Foster, when the Negro Leagues was what was popping before Michael Jordan and everybody else took it over to baseball, to NBA and NFL. So I just want to shout y'all out and look for more content with regard to that. I know we're running low on time today.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Big up to Ron Teasley and his family, and Norm Turkey Stearns, for granting me access to cover that this weekend. It was dope time.
And Uncle Turkey.
Yeah, that's real nice.
He said his nickname was Turkey, didn't you?
Yeah. His name was Norm Turkey Stearns.
Turkey Stearns. Yeah, appreciate that, Uncle Turkey Stearns. And family and organization.
He was notorious for carrying his baseball bats in a guitar case, and was also known to talk to his bats in nights after he had a bad night.
That's good cocaine.
Come on, Alice. We got to work together, Alice. There's a whole bunch of stories like this to learn at the Kansas City Negro League Museum. And also if you do a little research. But anyway, that's just me. Now you were saying, Solo, about
my question was still the same, and he already know what it is. All you got to do is go to it, let us know what he think, because
I like Crawford. I like Bud Crawford for sure. I think Bud is a tactician in the ring. I think he'll just pick Canelo, pick him apart. I think he'll break him down. Canelo's a beast. Just gotta stay away from that left. But I think Crawford is just a tactician, man. He's a tactician in that ring.
The second question is this right here. So if you think Crawford gonna win, now they just said, because they're going through the filming and everything on how they gonna produce the show, and they had both of them sitting beside him, and Crawford looks bigger than Carmelo. He looks bigger than him.
Well, he's taller than him. I don't know about it.
They say
what they got to do with
it. They say his natural weight is the size that he's at. So they say he actually ain't losing. They say that he had to lose weight to fight all those guys. Now Crawford don't have to lose no weight. He just stay where he at and beat him up. I'm going with Crawford. That's what I wanted to know. Who if that was you gonna go with, the Mexican or not, or the white man?
Nah. I like Crawford. I like Crawford.
First of all, pause.
And go all the way.
That's a big ass Mexican.
He is.
I wish Vince could pull the picture. There's a picture of them two standing next to each other.
I'm from Texas. I know the difference in the Latino sizes, and Mexican men are not typically tall or very cut up. And Canelo Alvarez is a big ass Mexican. He's also been a champion and had some very big moments in his career. That being said, I think Terrence Crawford is poised for it. If he's been in the camp the same way he was for the Errol Spence fight, it's gonna be a long night for Canelo Alvarez.
Amen to that. Preach.
Oh wow.
But that being said, if he going in there with the I got this in the bag, then we are in for a rude awakening.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do y'all watch fights?
Yeah, I watch all of them.
No,
I watch all of them.
No, do you watch them like an event, like the same way we used to watch Tyson fights?
No.
Like where we would all gather.
No, I don't go to fight parties.
Get pay-per-view.
The last fight party I attended was Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. I don't really like fight parties. I like to be at the house where I can watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? I might have a couple people over, but I like to be able to smoke weed, go out to the garage, hit the weed a little bit while they in the corner, and when that bell ring, come your goof ass back in the house. And resume watching the fight. Like, yeah, man, I like being able to rewind that shit. I like being able to watch that shit and talk loud and cuss. I don't want people all in the way. I don't want a DJ playing over it every time they go to the corner and shit. I don't like that shit.
I like going to fight. I mean, I like staying home and watching the fights. I've been to a couple fights in my history of life, and I have come up to the decision that it's too much testosterone going around in the building. And I'm too old to fight these little young niggas. It seemed like when I went to the bathroom, all the niggas had cauliflower ears, and these are the niggas who telling me "fuck you" and don't even know me in the bathroom. So I don't want to go through that no more. I just rather watch the shit on my local television.
Hey, so how much is too much? What? Too much what?
It's too much testosterone, man. Hey man, let me fuck with me when I'm country, nigga.
I thought when your teeth got fixed that this wasn't gonna be a problem no more.
Nigga. These are the
wrong.
Hey nigga. Hey, look here. Look here. I don't give a fuck if I had I still would say testosterone. You know what I'm saying? It's my word.
All right. Well,
but that's wrong.
Yeah,
that's
power sauce. I don't know.
Well, listen. Let's go ahead and get on up out of here. If I could just kind of wrap up some of the stuff that we learned today. We did learn that evidently, according to Uptown's owner Angelo, that the Steelers is going to win at least 11 games this upcoming year. Hallelujah. That has been prophesied. So we will have to touch back and see whether or not that remains to be the Lord's truth. Hallelujah. We heard that this is going to make the Steelers probably better. Aaron Rodgers coming to their I mean, because that obviously is yet to be seen as well. I'm still thinking it's going to be a little bit of a circus, but hopefully that won't be the case. You said Mike Tomlin is going to hold it down. We also heard that it sounds like Canelo is not going to take this. Is going to take this match. Solo is not. Solo, I don't think I heard you.
No, I'm Crawford all the way. I ain't never.
Okay, we bet on Terrence Crawford. What we saying is he got his work cut out for him. That ain't no easy victory.
And yeah, you do know Devontae is going to rematch with Roach. Come on now.
Okay.
And I'm telling you who's gonna win this. I'm about to tell you who's gonna win this one too. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna win this.
We'll hold that. We'll tease them for the next one. We also learned that black
people. He's gonna do the biggest upset you don't see in boxing history.
What else we learned, Vince?
We learned that black people have to support their black-owned businesses if they want them to flourish. And that also includes the artists that drive the business. So please also consider that before you give your post about how much you started somewhere. Well, what happened when you weren't there as often? Did you go back to pay your respects? Did you actually make it so that more people like yourself could flourish and then make the game?
If you ain't been to that business since they had a different menu, go back.
Yeah, for real. If your picture on the wall, this is what I always talk about: pictures on walls in comedy clubs, and I've been saying it for years. If your picture is on the wall and you don't come there, and if you don't support that club at least once or twice a year, your picture should come down. Your picture should come the fuck down immediately. Because if you're not there anymore, you don't come there. You niggas live in Atlanta. It's comic. Every comic in the world. I moved here for a reason. It's a many comics live this motherfucker. And you picture on the wall, and other comics walk by and they look and they say, "Damn, I wish one day I could have my picture on that wall." Ooh, how can I get my picture on the wall? But the other motherfuckers, you tell them, "Hey man, when last time you been uptown?" Ooh, that bitch still open.
So I've actually removed a few pictures, and I'm not done. So I agree with that.
I ain't lying. Your picture should come down.
Hey. Now you know me and Solo, we bullshit on the show, but when he starts speaking seriously, that boy ain't never wrong.
That actually is a policy that I think I could get behind. You could argue that
why the fuck am I making a monument to a motherfucker that can't? If your picture on my wall, you should be able to take my call.
That's right. Come on now.
And if you don't pick up my call, I'm gonna get your pick off my wall.
Off my wall. And when you ask me why my picture came down,
I agree with that.
Because of that. It's because of that. Because the simple fact of it is, I've been doing it my whole life. Every time I walk in, I'll be like, "Damn, man, the dream is to have my picture on the wall." And
another thing, while we on that subject, hey, you black club owners and you black club comedy lounge, ain't gonna be here but for 8 months, but y'all put some brand new furniture in that bitch and you try with the best intentions. Stop painting niggas on your walls that ain't never came to that motherfucker.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that. He just read my fucking mind. I was like, "You painted this motherfucker up there? He ain't never been here.
Motherfucker got Chris Rock and Kevin Hart and Richard Pryor and all them people on your goddamn wall. Man, it's niggas like me and Solo and Vince that's keeping the lights on in that motherfucker. But you're not gonna put my picture up till I get famous
or I die."
Now, to what Angelo was talking about earlier, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. And I spoke about it a minute ago with the $100 in chicken wing compared to the filet mignon and first class flight. Comedy club owners, don't wait for us to blow up to want to start treating us right. Because we don't forget shit. And a lot of times there have been comedy club owners, managers, bookers that will shit all on us and then expect us to be like, "Oh, it's all love when a nigga blow up." I had a club make the mistake of saying, I had a club manager make the mistake of saying, "I made you" to me. And I said, "Bitch, the only thing you done made me is something to eat and something to drink."
Man, I can't with this.
So let's make sure that the comedy club owners treat the up and coming acts like the stars they're gonna become, so that when they become those stars, they can turn around and show their love and kind to the people that made them like they're supposed to.
Hallelujah. All right, shout out Black Ron.
That's a solid statement.
Shout out Black Ron.
Shout out to everybody before I get up out of here. Let me say this real quick, because this shit on my tiptoes. Let me say this right here, man. Real talk. I'm like Angelo 100% because I've like seen it it was almost like a movie to me. Seen him go from club to club to club. I was like, wow, I mean, there's so many famous people. I got photos on my Instagram with so many famous people that Angelo had in the club and how I got to meet them. And then it's like, how do they sustain that? They can't sustain, the club can't sustain if these big names just don't want to push that club no more. Or they've been given a ultimatum. And I walked in the club. Like I went in one club in New York. We were doing a show, and it was the first contract I saw where it said you can't perform nowhere else around this for 6 months. 6 miles. 60 miles away. It had the miles. It didn't name the clubs, but it said you couldn't perform during that time. I was like, what? I'm trying to pick up some money up at another club because they was basically saying, hey, look, we want you for just this moment right here. You can't be doing nothing. And then now with Angelo saying, hey, you can't even perform at that club at all. That's it. You can't even go over here to Uptown no more. You gotta, if you want to come to Atlanta, you gotta fuck with me, or I ain't gonna fuck with you at all. And this is what they telling them. And they the ones who they want. They need the black entertainment is the #1 comedy revenue when it comes to comedy in clubs. Black entertainment keeps them damn clubs running. And if Angelo theory was to work, and all of them say, hey, fuck it, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna go to a black club once or twice a year. We're gonna make sure Angelo gets our business. We would be off the hook, but we're not. Jacksonville, Florida don't close all their clubs. There's only one comedy club that's still open, and one dude has a one-nighter. There's no clubs there. They club the nightclubs, all that. And it was all black. But all the white clubs, the beat up ass strip clubs, all that stuff that the whites own is still going. They're trying to monopolize and take these black men businesses, and they're making it happen because entertainers who say to Angelo, hey man, thank you for let me do it, and they all blown up and shit. When Angelo give them a call, they want to give Angelo the bullshit, or go talk to my agent. Because the agent will tell Angelo anything. So what happened when it was a phone call direct? So
Can I say this real quick, man? Let me tell y'all a quick story, right? It's real brief, so we gotta wrap this thing up. When John Witherspoon was alive,
amen.
John Witherspoon, we were trying to book him. He used to play Uptown all the time. And after we made the transition, well, y'all know my former business partner is, we got him out of there. And we tried to book John Witherspoon. And the agency, they never responded. And then, so we called John up and said, hey, John, Mr. Witherspoon. So we've been trying to bring you back to the club, man. I know you ain't played in over a year or so. He's like, man, I was wondering about that. Y'all ain't sent me no offer in a while. I said, no. I said, we definitely sent you an offer. And so we put the offer in again and called Mr. Witherspoon, and he said he hadn't seen the offer. He said, when did y'all put it in? We told him. He called. He said, let me check in something. So what the agency told us was, he didn't want to play there. So I called Mr. Witherspoon back and said, Mr. Witherspoon, they said you weren't going to play the club. He's like, give them this offer. He told us what to give them, the offer. We submitted the offer again. They said, Mr. Witherspoon declined your offer. I said, so he declined his own offer? They were like, huh? You talked to Mr. Witherspoon? You talked to John? I was like, yeah. I said, this is the numbers he gave us. He like, let me call you back. Then all of a sudden, they're like, oh yeah, Mr. Witherspoon decided to play the club. So that's when I found out how much BS is involved, because they weren't even given the offer. But Mr. Witherspoon made a point of making sure he played the club. You know what I mean? So now the BS does happen amongst these people. But then there's scenarios where I won't call out some of these names, but they simply don't come back, and there's nothing bad. No, there's not a person out there can ever say, I got a bad check from him. He ain't took care of me. He ain't did. You can't find a person that can honestly say it, but they can put rumors out there that says, oh, you go to Uptown, you don't do this, you go to Uptown. But when I hear that junk, I'll be like, tell me who. Tell me anybody in the industry that I owe money to. Tell me one person, just one. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be able to find them. So anyway, it's just it's just unfortunate, fellas. All I can say is unfortunate. But hey, man, I enjoyed myself on here, man. I really appreciate you guys. Keep doing your thing.
We'll see you soon, man. We'll see you soon. And when the year was what? How many months? There's gonna be some months. I'm gonna be right there waiting on.
When was that, Angelo?
What's that?
The Witherspoon. Story.
It was this is when we were still on Marietta Street. So it was a while back, man. This was still on Marietta Street. That's how long we've been dealing with this kind of BS. Yeah. That's when I first learned how dirty these jokers play. Was that when that happened? I was like, wow, this is how they get down? You know what I mean? This is how they get down.
Would a modern day version of that be like live what's live you know
Live Nation.
Live Nation, yeah, Live Nation and stuff like that?
I would say, yeah, they're one of them. But even they can be controlled.
Hey man, if you need to use the bathroom, it's cool. We finna rap, bro. It's got, you know what I'm saying? He had to go to the sauna right quick. Get his with his massage time. That's probably trying to the weight room, man.
Hey, but hey man, love is love. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to have Angelo on the show is what I've been trying to do, and I accomplished that today. Thank you very much. I think it was all solo.
Hey, well, appreciate you, man. And Angelo, I don't know if Angelo, can you still hear us? If you're still there. If you can still hear us, man, appreciate you pulling up.
Man,
thanks to everybody for pulling up, man. We've been trying
to Ron for being there, Bo P.
So it all works out.
Had a great time.
So yeah, so shout out to Black Ron for pulling up, man, as always. Shout out to the homie Ty. We couldn't even make it today, but hopefully all is well with you. Solo, of course, doing your thing.
Yep, that nigga Ty elbow was hurting.
As well as your boy, the real Vince Taylor, holding it down in the Molly spot.
Hold it down.
Hold it down. One and only Mr. Angelo for pulling up, talking Pittsburgh sports with us as well as some other things. Hopefully we can chat with him later as well. Thanks to all who tuned in. Tell a friend, go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and pull back up on next time when we will discuss what happens with this finals as well as whatever else is going on with sports, with laughs involved. Deuces.
Peace, y'all.